really threw this one together, didn't we, boys? What's going on, everybody? I am joined today by Keaton's step-in co-host, Dylan Connell. Keaton is taking some well-deserved leave, and today we have this amazing special guest, Juzzy Carter.
Yes. Hyped to be here.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me.
Does everything feel different now? The camera's like on and the red record button is on. We've been sitting here talking shit for the last like half an hour.
I had to see, like, because I can hear it. I was like, what is that going to sound like?
Nah, it's good.
Whatever you satisfying,
want.
dude.
Chocolate milk ASMR.
Have you been, Juzz?
I've been good. Just came, well, we both did. Just finished This Is Scootering, 31 days of filming in Melbourne and Brisbane. And that was fucking intense. It was very, very fun. It was like, I thought it was going to go quick, but it just kept going. It was so crazy.
Yeah,
and like
pretty gnarly.
By the end of it, I think most of us were pretty like so down for it to end, because it was just like every day was like more and more chance of someone getting hurt. We were all mentally drained, but I knew that once it was finished, we were going to be shattered. It was over. And
yeah, it's like a bittersweet thing almost.
That's how I felt, at least. I made that little like Insta clip montage of like the end, and I've like rewatched it so many times because it's just so. It was such a good time, but yeah.
Yeah, you captured a lot in that 1 minute.
Yeah,
It was pretty accurate representation of our time.
it was fun. It was great. I think we all came pretty close together in the end.
Yep.
Not literally, but yes, we were all very close in the end. No,
Yeah.
It was awesome. I'm hyped for everyone to see it.
What is it today? Is it the 2nd? Is it the 2nd of the month?
Yes.
3rd of the month? So it's been over for 2 days
Yeah.
officially. Yeah. And I saw jokes in the group chat already like, all right, take 2.
Yeah,
This
it was
month,
immediately
do
like,
it
all right,
again."
This Is Scootering again.
Yeah. Yeah. I might just turn the aircon back on.
Yeah, go hard.
So yeah, I don't know about you, but for me, Melbourne felt like it went longer than 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then Brisbane went really quick. So was it like the opposite for you because you live in Melbourne?
Yeah, if Mel was real quick for me. That was hectic. I mean, everything kind of blended into, because everyone was together in Melbourne, like we were all in the apartment. Every day we were riding the city. Every night we were out filming. Each day kind of blended into the next, and it was just so damn quick. Whereas Brisbane, everyone was a bit more separated. A few people took days off, and everything just went
Way more different, like living situations
Yeah.
too. More people had their own house. Certain people staying together and stuff.
Yeah, we
more spread out.
definitely didn't see everyone. It wasn't as like tight knit in
Yeah,
Queensland,
yeah.
but it was great to see everyone kind of still have that motivation to like come back out and like get it done. And it definitely put people into more stressful scenarios.
The timing was pretty lucky, I think, that considering the lockdown that just started in, like a lockdown just started in Melbourne, didn't it?
Yep.
For,
So
Rona is back in
Not
full
even sure
effect,
if-
like.
not even sure if I should leave right now, because I think I can. But that was because
Well, you're moving to Brisbane, aren't you?
Oh my god.
That's the theme
Potentially.
with this podcast.
Oh, this whole trip. When are you making the move?
Everyone on this podcast so far has been out of Brisbane that has moved to
Yeah. No, I
Brisbane.
refuse.
To follow the...
To
You
follow
have
the
to.
trend. I can't. You need to have some other riders in Australia that don't live in Brisbane.
Yeah,
I
they're missing out,
respect
bro.
I
They're
respect
missing out.
creating the scene here and like making it so sick, but nah. You gotta have a reason to come and visit me in Melbourne.
Yeah. Well, you've seen him say it here and now, and it's gonna change. That's bullshit. And You know it is.
Yeah, I know. I may make the move eventually. And the
Yeah.
thing is, like, a few riders from Melbourne are already kind of, like Ollie, he's kind of like on his way out. I'm pretty sure eventually, like
On his way out of Melbourne into Brisbane.
yeah. No, his working visa's up. I'm pretty sure. So
Damn.
he's gonna have to leave eventually. Cam is gonna make the move back to Brisbane. I'm pretty sure.
See, he's from Brisbane, went to Melbourne.
Yeah.
He's like, no.
Realised how
Brisbane's-
terrible Melbourne was.
Brisbane's where it's
He found
sounds like
himself
you're
in-
saying meth. Realised how terrible meth was.
and Melbourne. Well, meth is terrible.
It
but,
is.
you
He
know,
went there, went to the
terrible,
meth
terrible.
capital, and just got into
Is
it.
it? Isn't it the ecstasy capital?
Welcome
Welcome
it would
to
be.
Melbourne, ecstasy capital.
I swear it would be, but there's like every like regional town in Australia is like a meth capital.
Oh.
Everywhere, bro.
Yeah.
We're like in a meth capital right now,
Australia's like a
Logan.
meth.
It is. It would be
Do
for
they
sure.
have meth in America?
Yeah, but it's called,
called
it's not
meth?
called meth here. It's called ice here. Like,
And what's
the
it
same
called
thing.
in America?
yeah, it's meth.
Meth. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. For
Awesome.
any Americans watching.
Yeah, so I think I might make the move to Brisbane.
Yeah, sorry. We can. I'm just kind of shooting the shit.
Nah, Melbourne's good though. We've got a good crew there of a handful of riders, but yeah, I don't know. I like it, and particularly after, wow, like the trip we just had, where like I got to see some of the best riders in the world, kind of look at my city from a different perspective.
Yeah, yep.
Was awesome because a lot of the clips I filmed in Melbourne of spots I've never looked at, or we rode them for long enough for me to like look at them differently and then kind of approach it like more creatively.
Yeah.
So now it's kind of gotten me super hyped on so many spots to go back to.
Yeah.
Particularly seeing like Reese, Zayden, all those people and how they've been looking at Melbourne. It's like, oh my God, like I've never seen it this way before. So that's been really, really sick. And also there was like that many clips I got robbed on in Melbourne that I have to go back to.
Well, now you've just had some practice on them for the part.
Yeah.
I always thought like Melbourne to me was the street mecca of spots in Australia, and it's funny that the scene didn't like grow so much bigger there because of that. And so many people comment on videos like from Brisbane and the Brisbane scene and stuff, like, oh my God, those spots are so sick. And living in Brisbane, we're always like, I feel like it's a real struggle and we don't have like all the best spots. I always looked at it like Sydney and Melbourne had way better.
The grass is always greener on the other side.
Exactly. That's
100%.
got to be it. Nah, but for real, non-biased.
No,
Melbourne's got spots.
The cityscape
like,
in Melbourne, I think, would be the best. Like
Yeah.
the city, and that was the thing. Like Kai had so many spots planned outside of the city, and we did like out of the 14 days we were there, we did 2 days that weren't in the city, and every single day was just like ticking off everything in the city, and we still weren't even finished. And by the
Do you
end
reckon
of it,
you hit every single spot?
look, if we had another 2 weeks, we would have come close, man. It was ridiculous. We'd like we'd have, all right, we've got this spot planned and this spot planned, and we'd go to the first one and go to like 50 in between. And we missed out on so much because there was just so many unpredictable spots that we hit. But yeah, I feel the same. In my opinion, I think New South Wales in Australia is the best in terms of just diversity. Like Sydney City is really sick. Their regional suburbs have all like the best rails. Their schools are sick. I think New South Wales is the best overall for like everything.
Yeah.
Brisbane is like rails. Like there's just so much. And the city's sick too. Melbourne is kind of...
Brisbane definitely lacks ledges. Like,
Yeah.
That's fucking all Melbourne has. It's
I
ridiculous.
feel like that's such a, and you can totally see it in like Brisbane clips and Brisbane riders and stuff. But I never progressed on like the bigger gnarlier rails. But you go around with all the boys and that's like, it's just rails, so many rails everywhere. And I'm always just like, oh, I want a nice little ledge spot with a rail next to it. And
Melbourne is just... Yeah, I mean, at least if you've seen like the Nike videos that have been popping out of Nike Australia, a lot of it's Melbourne and a lot of it's ledges.
Yeah.
And there's just, and since then there's been like so many more ledge spots that are just popping up because that's where they're just making like so many more spots rideable.
maybe Nike's getting in with the... oh, yeah, no, they're just like...
No, I think they're just...
them and
Yeah, I
waxing
think
them
Melbourne is
and-
just popping off so much more at the moment.
Yeah,
Like, cause,
yeah.
and
Even skate.
even when we were... This is a funny story. We were filming at nighttime... probably like the third last day or something of the trip in Melbourne, and we came across Nike like filming for like probably the video that just came out.
Yeah, that's right, dude.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Did you give him my card? My card?
Your card?
Yeah.
For
like,
Syndicate?
Yeah, like
Man,
let's
this
link.
we rode past him and Dylan and stuff like stopped like to watch, and I immediately felt the vibe. I was just kind of like, we can't be here.
Imagine if someone did that to you when you're trying
exactly.
to film a clip.
Yeah.
I flicked the scenario. I was like, if I was filming a clip right now and the whole fucking Nike team just came up.
Nah, if it was the Nike team to
Of
you,
course.
you'd be like...
It is a different scenario,
Yeah.
but like I just could tell.
Yeah.
And I was like, we got to get out of here. Like
Yeah,
we just
that's
can't,
whack,
we
yeah.
can't crowd this
Yeah.
spot.
And it was weird though because there was a Seki at the spot with them, watching them skate.
Maybe they gave the Seki
Yeah,
some
like,
Nike
I actually
money.
wouldn't
Yeah.
be surprised. It was
Would
weird.
not
And then
surprise
You
me.
know what you should have done is gone and just like started filming on the same spot.
It was hilarious.
Just get Dylan with the camera, like push the dude over. Like we're trying to get scooter clips here, dude.
We rode past and they were just screaming my name the whole time. And then we
Wait,
like
who was?
the Nike team.
They
like,
knew you?
Yeah, like I see them. I see like a lot of them. I've traded spots with a lot of them before.
Yeah,
and a lot of them
yeah.
are cool dudes.
Sick.
But it was
A little bit of a
very
flex, right?
uncomfortable because it's like a
Yeah.
big team of dudes, and then
Yeah.
you
And then a
can't
big
tell
team
if
of
it's
you
like
guys.
yelling at you in a supportive or like a friendly or
Yeah.
like a "Oi, Juzzy," you know, like so
Yeah.
it's a bit intimidating, and
Oi,
I
Juzzy.
just didn't like it, particularly at nighttime when you just can't even
Yeah.
see faces.
Get stabbed in the streets by the Nike team.
But yeah, Melbourne has been popping off,
Yeah.
like for sure, and it was sick to see everyone look at it so differently.
Yeah.
But we didn't even touch like as much as we could have.
Yeah. Well, that will all be seen very soon. The dissidents, what is it? Dissidents, not coalition, dissidents. This is scootering. We've talked about
Yeah.
it every podcast so far, because from when we started this podcast with Will, he was just getting ready for it, and then you were on your episode were talking about how you're going to be filming it. Levi was talking about how he was going to be in it. So anyone watching these podcasts has definitely surely got enough hype, you know, is going to be hyped up enough for that video. But I guess we could move it on to maybe we could start from the end, like where you're at the moment, where you've been living and what you've been doing through, I guess, like COVID has been the big thing that changed lives for a lot of people, just changed styles
Yeah.
a lot.
Well,
What have you been up to on the, last
I'll
year?
give you like
Give us the last
COVID
year.
wise.
Yeah.
So I started January 1st. Actually funny, like the 31st of 2019, December, I was like left the city as the fireworks were going off and just went straight to the airport. And I was planning on being in Europe and Asia for the entirety of last year.
And this is what, the last day of 2019?
Yeah. I
Okay.
wanted to start on January 1st, 2020 and just do the whole year
Yeah.
overseas.
Okay.
Because I'd done 2018, 2019, a lot of 2017, just all overseas. And I wanted to okay, this whole year, I'm just not even going to be in Australia and just make the most of it. So I started that and went straight to Milan because I was doing Milan Fashion Week, which was super fun. And did a few shows there, which was really cool. And like
I'm definitely going to come back to that and ask you to explain that kind of stuff. But
and there's a sick Milan scene. Shout out to Mafia Patino, good homie. Like the Italian scene is getting stronger, and they're doing awesome street jams there.
I've seen the Wise Dudes do lots of trips.
Yeah, it's cool. There's a lot of awesome people in the Milan scene. I've only ridden in Milan, and there's in Verona, and there's other places, but it's growing for sure, and it was super sick to see that. But I was mainly there for modeling stuff. And then I kind of just moved between Paris, Milan, and Barcelona in those couple months before COVID. And it really sucked because entire time I've been modeling, I've been trying to get signed in Paris. And Paris is like the most competitive place to kind of get signed. And about a month before COVID, I got an agency there, and I did a couple shows for some big brands I was super hyped for. And then COVID hit right as I was in Italy, right as Italy had the absolute worst of it.
Oh, that's right. They got smashed.
It was like the first country outside of China that got like hit with it really hard. And I was like, I remember being in like my room and like looking at the news and seeing that Italy was stuffed, and I was looking at the region. It says, the Greater Lombardia region. That was right where I was. I was like, oh my God. And 24 hours after that, it was like, you need to get out now or you're not getting out. And I escaped Italy straight into Paris. And a lot of my friends got stuck in Italy and they couldn't leave for about 6 months. Wow. And in the first few weeks, they were telling us they were starving because all the supermarkets were like completely shut down.
Damn.
It was like lockdown, but next level. You could not leave your house. Like proper.
Definitely did not feel any of that in.
No.
Brisbane, Australia. Like I kind of, that actually sounds gnarly.
It was gnarly, but at the same time, it was exciting because it was like, it sounds sadistic. But it was like a movie. It was like, get into the airport. Everyone's rushing straight into Paris. I had 2 weeks in Paris.
Pandemic shit.
Before, like France was like, all right, the border's closing in 6 hours. You need to get the hell out of here. Left, went to Barcelona.
So is this like France on the phone to you? Is that
no, like you're seeing it everywhere. Like you're in the streets and there's big screens and like everyone's and you're just
Tourists
on your phone.
Go home.
Yeah. If you want to leave, you have to leave now. and in Spain. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to Barcelona. It should be okay there. Me and Tommy Dang actually had a trip to Japan that we'd organised that we were going to do maybe about 2 weeks from this time. So I was like, I'll just chill in Barcelona, then I'll just go to Japan. Japan should be fine COVID-wise. The moment I flew into Barcelona, they were like, we closing the border in 24 hours. So it was just like border closure. And I was like, okay, the whole world is like getting stuffed with it now.
How much are you spending on flights right now?
Well, in Europe, it's the equivalent to like
Sydney and
$60, $70 Australian for like a one-way flight, which is nothing for what you're doing.
Yeah. It's not like when you're going from Australia to
no,
Europe
it's
and it
like
costs
$2,000.
Yeah, true.
No, it's chill.
Yeah.
But I had to decide like then and there if I was going to stay in Barcelona through lockdown or if I was going to go home.
Yeah.
And at that time, it was really, really bad. So it was like, I have to just go. And got on
It's not like it would have been a usual trip in Barcelona. It would have been shit 6 months.
There were homies coming into Barcelona, like the day I was, to stay at the Ethic House or the house where Maxime, August, Rudy and stuff live. And they were coming there because they wanted to spend lockdown in Barcelona because they like some of them are from like Reunion Island, which is little island off of France where there's nowhere to go.
Yeah.
So they were like, we need to get to Barcelona because otherwise we'll have nothing to do for the next 6 months.
Yeah.
But I had no idea what the future looked like, so I just went home, went back to Australia.
2 weeks quarantine?
Yes, but
in a hotel?
No, I missed out on that by like
I was going to say, don't rat
day
yourself out on anything like illegal because they're like chasing that shit up.
It was weird, man. Like, so I came back to Australia and then they just kind of hand you a form and they're just like, okay, go home, do 2 weeks quarantine. I got onto like a bus, a train, met my mum like at the station and then went home.
I said, don't rat yourself out.
Well, you know, they know now. But like, that's the thing. It was legal. Like they didn't stop us from doing it. They're just like, okay, make your way home.
Make your way home and stay home.
Yeah. And that was how I had to get home, you know? And this, I only found out maybe like 5 months after, but I found out I had COVID that I had no idea about. I had to get like a blood test at the doctor and I had like an antibody test and he was like, yeah, well, so you know you've had COVID at some point. I was like, oh, true. And he's like, yeah, like you've got the antibodies. So and I was like, damn.
Does that mean you're like good? The antibodies?
I think so.
Like
I think so. I don't think that's like a surety, but
stuff, but
neither. But
at one point you were a COVID super spreader walking around.
I assume because I had to do 2 weeks quarantine with the moment I got back into Australia with my mum and dad, and they had to stay home too because they work at a school and they were exposed to me.
Yeah.
My parents are quite old and they would have gotten it immediately if I had it because I was like,
yeah.
So I'm pretty
so
certain
you
I had it in Europe. I'm pretty certain I had it in
it.
Europe and I didn't because otherwise they would have gotten it instantly for sure.
This is news to me.
Yeah.
Me and you haven't really hung out a lot because you've been on since you've been up here, you've been on the riding tip. So
it was
that's news.
It was gnarly. It was just like one thing after the other. And like when I was in France, like I was sick for a little while, but I was quite ignorant to what it may be. And it was just friend after friend that would just hit me up. They'd be like, yo, I've got to let you know I've got COVID. I've got to tell people who I was around. I was like France, Spain, Italy, all these people who would tell me that, like send me a message like, yo, I've got COVID. I've got to let you know. And then I started to think maybe was I that person that was giving it to them. But at the same time, it was everywhere. So I have no idea.
Yeah.
I never really felt anything. I was pretty okay. But it was just a crazy time.
That's hectic.
Yeah.
And so you got home and
just 2 weeks quarantine. And then the moment that finished was the moment Melbourne went into like its strictest lockdown. And it was
I remember you posting on your story about that. It finished.
Yep, straight away. I got like 1 day outside and then it just went into the harshest one of the harshest lockdowns of the world.
Like what it is now, like level 4 shit? Yeah.
Where you can't.
for like 2 weeks.
Yeah. So. No, this was like 6 months. This was like 3 months. Then we got a little window of like it slowing down, but you couldn't leave like a 10K radius of the house. And then it went straight back in. And like I was just bound to my flat bar at home. And it was just like insanity. Like I was just losing my mind.
That is like a blur to me. Like I remember hearing about it and it being bad, but that just sounds like a different level of fucked up.
It sucks.
That's crazy.
It was gnarly. I mean, for me and everyone in the Victorian scene, like I felt the worst for the park riders, like people like Angus Hughes and Miles Curry and all those kinds of dudes. Cause like at least at me, Max, we could ride our flat bars and get some kind of joy. Whereas they're pretty much like their whole life is big ramps and like practicing and progressing for ISA.
Yeah.
They couldn't do anything. And like we could at least get creative. I could at least like get creative on my flat bar and learn new tricks. And I was fine. Like I could do that and kind of have my outlet.
Yeah.
But for them, like they couldn't do anything. And like that's why a lot of those guys were really suffering last year because they couldn't even try to compete or try and have fun, you know?
That sucks.
Dude, Kiefer would be stoked to have the mega ranch in his backyard during that time.
Yeah, we went to the mega ranch in Melbourne during our time, which is the 28-foot high vert quarter pipe, and I think it's maybe a 20-foot mega ramp. And
that thing looks so scary, dude.
It's just this kid's backyard, bro.
To be honest, it looks like, no hate, but like dodgy. When I saw the...
Oh, it's good.
No, when I saw that,
decent.
it just looks like you fly right off the side and die.
I mean, you could, but you got to know what you're doing to ride it.
Yeah.
Like,
You could. The more sketchy thing was people standing on top, and like there's no railing to stop you from falling like 30 feet to the ground.
I would have had mad vertigo even just being up.
dude, the
there.
biggest roll-in for it is like 40 foot high.
Did you roll down any of them?
No. I didn't pay to ride it.
Oh,
but
so you're just filming?
yeah, at the end, I rolled down the lander. and
Did
just
anyone
aired the
pay to
quarter.
ride it? I saw the messages in the group chat like, yo, everyone send your
Yeah, I
send
think
your money.
like 3 or 4 of us did, and then by the end of it, everyone did because we were there all day, and like no one could kind of like stop themselves to ride it.
Yeah. Well, how much is it?
It was $50 for the day, which is like when you think about it,
Once
like,
in not once in a lifetime, but you know, once in one fucking mega ramp in the country.
Yeah. It
Nah.
was insane. Like, I'm so stoked that we got to go there and,
Yeah.
you know,
And
like just experience that.
Isn't he the? We talked about him on the.
he's
other,
on Nitro.
Yeah, we talked about him on the other podcast on yours.
Did we? I don't think we did.
Yeah, we said he's the guy that.
He did like the first 900 or the youngest 900 or
yeah.
something, and this
He
kid
got-
was gnarly.
yeah,
he was
yeah.
so sick, and he was riding this at one of like Kai's scooter, and like
Yeah,
bar
yeah.
spinning like so far.
Is he like a
above.
famous pro skater? The kid?
I think he's like an up and comer.
Oh,
He must.
okay,
I think
yeah.
he's famous within Nitro and stuff, but I don't know him too
okay.
well. But like
Is
he's
like
a
his
shredder.
dad who like owns the
Yeah,
ramp, like
yeah.
a old famous pro skater?
I don't know.
kinda?
I think
Oh, okay.
it could be, but from what my experience, he just seemed like a really supportive guy.
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
it was awesome. It's such a sick experience, and like I went there. I was like, I just want to drop in the vert, and
Yeah.
it is so damn over vert. Looking up there gives you like the most vertigo you could.
You just
ever.
want to drop in the vert
into that.
in the quarter.
Yeah.
It is
Screw
so
that.
gnarly,
I didn't.
dude.
Reese and stuff did.
Yeah.
But I could not do it. It was way too intense.
Clay should have been there. That would have
Yeah.
been freaking
He
epic.
should have just come for fun.
Yeah.
Dude, when you're standing at the top of that quarter, it's like the type of ramp that you like just look over the edge and you're like, nah.
You can't even look over the edge. You can't even picture dropping in because it's like all you see is the bottom. You
But
know.
surely it's not over vert. It would be built in a way that it's just
vert.
vert. Yeah.
But
But is
the-
it like...
The vert part is like as big as that wall. Like,
I'll give you an example.
God.
Like Reese Jones, like 50 dropped it, and he dropped like 7 feet before he fucking hit transition.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Well.
Well.
I think we'll take it from there too, right back to the start. And I'm sure it is a very long story. We do have a lot of time, as much as you're comfortable with, lending to us. Let us know the origin story of the now very, very
Okay.
famous.
what inspired you to
Justin
jump on a
Carter.
scooter?
What was it that
I'll start
led you
with-
to knowing that your life's purpose was riding for Syndicate?
It'd be pretty
I'm
apparent
sorry.
from the beginning. No, I'll start a bit with the skateboarding because it's a funny story.
Yeah.
I remember being like 5 years old, and I always wanted to skateboard. Like coolest thing I'd ever seen. Looked amazing. I remember being at like a shopping center, and out the front there was like a little rail with like a 5-stair, and I just have this glimpse in my head. I remember what happened. My mum was like kicking out all these skateboarders at the spot, and, like screaming at them.
Why was she doing that?
Because she hated skateboarding. She like I always.
But she didn't work there.
No.
She was
So
she
we
was
were-
being a hero.
Yeah.
Karen, dude.
We were just at the
Oh.
shop. She saw the skateboarders and just like,
Yeah.
nah, get out. You're destroying public property. And every time I'd ask for a skateboard, she'd never let me have one because she
Yeah.
had this image of these punk kids, blah, blah, blah. I didn't want me to get into that. I think I just asked for one for long enough. And eventually my cousin just gave me his secondhand skateboard.
Yeah.
And yeah, I did that from when I was about 5 years old till I was about 12. Awesome. Filmed a lot of stuff, had the best time. But eventually I was
Film
just...
stuff? Between
it's still
6 and
unreleased.
12?
Still unreleased. So
Oh, shit.
there's a couple dudes from Melbourne, Jeff Cook, who used to ride for Vans, Crew. He switch front lipped Hollywood High. First person to do that. So sick.
Wow.
He filmed a lot of stuff of me, and I still haven't seen the footage, but he still has it
Wait, like,
as a skater.
because
8 years old.
you were shredding?
Yeah,
Like, he was
yeah,
you're-
yeah.
Wow.
I rocked
okay,
up to
so
the
you were
park
a
one
little,
day.
a little shredder, like.
I was at the
yeah.
park one day, and my skateboard had like, it was a World Industries board, and both the tails were like just flat from shredding it for so long. And he's just like, yo, next time I see you, I'll give you some boards. And the next time I saw him, he gave me like 4 skateboards.
Wow.
The DVD of their like Crew.
Yeah.
And that just got me going. I was so hyped. And then he filmed whatever I was doing when I was with him.
Yeah.
I never did see the footage. He still has it. So one day
Yeah.
I will see myself varial heel flip the 3 flat 3 at Frankston. It was my pinnacle of skating.
Wow, that's pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
Always wanted to see it. Still haven't, but one day.
What's his name?
Jeff Cook.
Jeff Cook. Come through with the goods.
Yeah, no,
man.
he's a legend. He's got some
Put it on
legendary
YouTube,
parts.
monetize that shit. Juzzy's name in the title, man. You'll make bank off that.
But yeah, eventually skateboarding, I was a little smart ass. Like I had no understanding of skate park etiquette, any personal qualities of like how to be a good person at the park. Like someone would be trying a trick and I would try it with them and land it.
That's like most little kid shredders. Yeah.
And they hated that. So I kind of isolated myself a bit from making any skate friends at least. And those guys who were filming me ended up like, going to America. And at my local park, I was just quite isolated and I had no one. And when I started high school, I really wanted to be a part of like the popular group, like as a lot of kids do.
Yeah, for sure.
And those kids were all riding scooters and I was genuinely like, this is sick. I've never seen scootering
That's
before.
so weird how you just said that. Sorry to cut you off, but like the popular kids were scooter riders.
Yeah,
like,
definitely. Well, of course,
crazy.
you guys would remember like 2008, 7, 8, 9. Like in Australia, scootering was like the trend. Like it was the trendy thing to do for sure.
I didn't really touch one until 2011. So I was like, yeah.
Well, that was my memory.
Because I remember like all the skaters like back in that era would jump on a scooter at the skate park because it was just fun and sick and like.
That was me skateboarding and like seeing a scooter and like playing on it at the skate park, but then like getting back on my skateboard.
That was before all like the scooter hate became like just like a meme.
Yeah.
Like a mainstream meme almost.
It was when Cody was releasing parts. Like,
okay.
It's when Cody was. I remember.
Is that like punk scooters?
Yeah.
Is that the
punk
famous
scooters,
like Cody part?
Yeah, like the Razor one, like all that stuff.
The true king.
Yeah, the king. But I remember being at school and I really wanted to get into it, and my friend gave me this USB. Shout out Harry McCabe. He gave me this USB that had Terry Price Minivid, the double backflip one, Cody Donovan punk scooters, and the what was it called? The French ID team video.
It's like a mixtape.
Yeah. It had 3 videos, but it was the perfect. Yeah, it was the perfect introduction to Australian scootering. At the time, the best scooter rider in the world, Terry Price.
Yeah.
And French ID, which was this mix of Europe, Matt McKean, street, everything. So I had this awesome window into like, this is what scootering is.
This is scootering.
God damn.
Please carry on.
But yeah, I remember landing my first tail whip and just falling in love at first whip and just getting it going. And then I remember being quite torn between going from skateboarding to scootering, but I had I just had the friends that were scootering, and that was kind of what I was super drawn to, was like learning tricks with them. And I had always wanted to film a skate video, like I said. Like I never got to see the footage, I never got to upload it. So this was like now my goal. Like I can film a video and like film my progression, and then that was it. I just kind of got this fire lit underneath me. Like I just want to do this, and it was awesome. And and eventually this is a funny story. So like my local skate park was Mornington, and it was just a smaller skate park, but Frankston was where Max Peters was from.
Yep.
At the time, it still is, but Frankston was a really gnarly place, and it had a reputation. Like my parents wouldn't let me go there because the station was so damn dangerous.
Yeah.
And the skate park was very dangerous. You'd hear these stories of metros versus emos having wars at the skate park and these massive fights, and there's junkies and even within the skateboard BMX scoot like community, it was pretty rough. Like quite a hostile environment. So you had to like be quite confident in yourself to go there, at least.
Yeah.
That was my perspective.
Would have been like going to Woodridge Skate Park back in that like time, yeah.
It was pretty
scary reputation.
Yeah, and you felt like you kind of had to be good enough to go there as well. Like you couldn't just rock
True.
up.
Yeah.
That was what I at least remember feeling.
If you're good enough, then maybe people won't start you.
Exactly.
If you're like shredding, they're
exactly.
not gonna, yeah.
Well, particularly when you're like 12, 13 years old and there's like this just a huge amount of other 12, 13-year-olds, all judgmental, all little assholes. You trying to do anything to them, they're just going to laugh at. So you feel like you have to kind of back yourself up.
Yeah.
So it wasn't until I could like inward and bri flip that I went there. And
got
I had
tricks down before.
Exactly. Yeah. But I remember that was when the Frankston scene was popping off. And this is funny. I remember the first time I ever saw Max. Max was like a mythological figure.
Was he already the Max Peters?
He was.
Yeah, okay.
Very much so. He was a mythological figure even within people outside of scootering. Like if you just kind of knew Max was like the best scooter rider on the Mornington Peninsula in Victoria, like at least.
Yeah.
And I remember not really knowing what he looks like because the footage of back then was pretty low quality.
True, yep.
So, and everyone had a side fringe and long hair. So you never really knew who the hell was who.
Is that Max Peters or is it just one of the many wannabes?
Exactly. And there were so many people at Frankston who looked like him.
Yeah.
I remember standing at the top of the extension and somebody had done a backflip and Max, who I don't know who's Max yet, just says to this guy, "Oi, who do you think you are, Max Peters?" to the guy who did the backflip. And I'll never forget thinking, oh, so that's not Max Peters because no one would speak that arrogantly. and it took me like months to realize, oh, that actually is Max.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I'll just never forget it. And then,
Jeez, Max.
yeah, I don't know where to go from here. But yeah, basically that was kind of the start of me making friends at Frankston, filming videos eventually.
Did you make friends with Max? Was that later?
No, not for a long time. I mean, friendly. Max was never a dick.
Yeah,
there were other like better riders who were much more intimidating. Max was always nice. He would always like if you said something to him, he'd talk to you, but quite intimidating figure. Like just who he is, not like his personality. He was always nice.
For sure. What's the path from there to like sponsorship and what age are we talking about? And, high school, did you finish high school? And how did scootering work with all that?
I was probably 13, 14 when I met Dolan Keeley, who was the first guy who would like really film me at Frankston.
Yep.
It's when I became with all my friends now, Vince Kinner and stuff. And it was just a rampage of just video part. I made maybe 2 until I got hooked up by Grit.
Yep. Park videos.
Yep.
Obviously.
All park videos, all Buttercups inwards, 3 Bries, all that kind of stuff. And then Grit Scooters was kind of where it took off. I made a few videos for them. 2012, I went on my first trip with them when we went to the 2012 ISA finals, which was the first Australian Scooter Championships.
Yep.
Which was awesome.
Where was that trip to?
That was to
GC Compound?
GC Compound, yeah. I was talking about this with Reese the other day because I think he was there. He just doesn't remember it.
Yeah.
But a lot of people, like I think Kevin and stuff were there. But that was awesome. I went in. I was in the amateur division. I came second, and I won all these parts of which I kept. I wish I kept brand new because it was like brand new Elites shoes, like all this awesome stuff. But yeah, I actually wanted to talk about, I went to Jammo Jam 4, probably like 6 months later.
Yep. I was at that one.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Yeah. That's why I wanted to talk about it.
Yeah, I don't think I would have known like you or if you were still like hardcore parking.
I didn't know who you guys were. I remember you.
Ouch.
Well, I knew, all I knew of Unfair was Jack Weiss.
Yeah, because he was
park rider.
Close. Yeah, okay.
He was like a hectic park rider.
Surely Ryan Hosking.
Yes. Yes, I knew of him.
Yeah.
But
2 crazy park riders at that time.
It's funny talking about that event because like everyone who I'm friends with now was there, but none of us knew each other.
We're friends with each other at the time. Yeah.
And
crazy.
That was the one where Corey Vanloo and Zig Short were there.
Yeah.
There was such a crazy event.
I remember hearing like stories about them like crashing cars the day before and like they were just gnarly. Like they were like street riders from like another country like at this comp and in like Australia throwing down
really gnarly. It was I'll never forget that comp because there was so many riders there and it was just one day and we all were supposed to be given 2 runs. I'll never forget
there's just too many people
stacking every single trick in my run, every single trick, and I was so disappointed, but I was like, I have my second run. The runs went for hours and by the end of the day we're like, that's it, no second run. We're just calling it. Whoever wins. I was so shattered. My like debut into like everyone there. Like, it was just landed nothing. But
Damn.
it was awesome.
Is there videos of Jammo Jam? I'm gonna have to.
There would be.
I'm gonna have to look up some videos, man.
everyone.
Wow.
It was crazy. I didn't go. That was the only Jammo Jam I went to.
Yeah.
The year after.
We went to 3, and I think it like got rained out, so 4 was only like a couple months after or something like that. Or
3 was the biggest for sure.
That was successful. I was at number 3.
okay,
Yeah.
and I was there.
It didn't get rained out. I think Jammo Jam 4 got rained out. and
okay.
No,
that's why they-
4.
No,
5 got rained out.
but then came back.
4 was chilling because that was the one I went to. But
I can't remember.
3 was the big one. Like I think that's the most memorable one. I wasn't there, but that was where like Willie did the drop in, the flip drop in. I think it was a double flip fly out.
No, I think that was 4.
Fuck.
All I know is
All I know is 3 was memorable.
Rob used to load up his van with hella scooter parts and set up a stall and just like he was just like, we're making bank this weekend, like, and just go and like sell as many scooter parts as he could. And then the next time we went, he didn't sponsor the event, but chose to spend the same amount that it would have costed to sponsor the event on like making like 50 or like 100 unfair shirts, rocking up and just saying, anyone who's entering the comp and wants a free shirt, we're giving them away if you wear them in the comp. So like that's why there was like
Genius.
50 kids wearing an unfair shirt like in the comp. But then the organizers were like, what a dog. And when you think back, that's like a dog move, like don't support the event but try and just
Genius though. Genius marketing. I remember
Funny.
being at the Dialed scooter launch in Melbourne. They had one in each state, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But I was one of the little kids in the product toss.
Yeah.
And I remember grabbing, I don't have it anymore, I wish I still did, but it was a unfair sweatband, green
wow.
unfair sweatband. I wish I still had it. But yeah, after Jammo, I would have been on Grit for a little longer, but then I went to Micro. I got the message from Benjay Friant, which was like impossible to turn down.
Yeah, for sure.
I
He was
left-
a king. He's still a king now, but he was like,
And that's when Micro
So
was on
big.
the up. That's when
Yeah.
Micro had made their resurgence and were kind of coming back as a bigger company.
and that would have been after he was on District.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
He went from District to that. Yeah.
I remember leaving Grit because I was filming like a video every month. Like I was writing so much and filming like a video every month, 2 months, and like they were always quite ungrateful in my
In your
it's been so long, but whatever. That's how I remember it.
Yeah.
And just like I just felt like I was doing so much and getting not too much back.
It
And
was taking you for granted type thing.
yeah, exactly.
What age were you?
2012, I would have been turning like 16. Yeah.
So getting
I
old
thought you
enough to
were-
know,
Yeah.
like, what's what.
I thought you were about to say 20. and
Yeah. I was like, what? Now you're 30?
No, I would have been like 15 to 16.
Yeah.
And then Benjay messaged me at around the start of 2013, end of 2012. And yeah, I just couldn't take down the offer, particularly after they just released the Micro Europe tour, which had
Taylor Smith.
Yeah. Who else? God, can't even think of their names. There were so many people in that video.
Keanu? Or he didn't go on that. He was in
that's
the
right.
Australian
Keanu
team.
Schofield. Yeah.
But I just remember Taylor Smith, but I remember it was like, Micro was like bomb, where like they were like on the scene, like coming for the freestyle stuff.
It was sick. It was awesome.
Yeah.
On Micro, like I think I helped get, because me and Jesse Bays were really good friends, and I was like, Jesse, come on. He came on, Tyler Marinovic came on. I even got Wesmer on.
Yeah.
Or maybe he came on naturally. But I was really good friends with the manager, and he was just kind of trusting my judgment. And then we did a Australia tour where Benjay came, and it was the sickest time ever, from starting in Caloundra, going all the way down to Melbourne, like 2-3 weeks. It was just, we filmed the sickest video. Go watch it. Micro Oz Team 2013 video.
Yeah. Just like a classic East Coast tour almost.
Exactly. Oh, well, we were like, and it wasn't in our minds to replicate it, but like the vibe was definitely there. And Benjay's an incredible video maker. So like, it was so sick. But that was like the peak of Micro. And after that, everything kind of went down.
Yeah. When you left. Yeah.
No, I was the last one standing. Like,
oh, wow.
yeah, like Jesse, me, Tyler, like all were filming videos, but then Tyler dropped off. Jesse went to Apex. Wesma, I think, got kicked off.
And
I think he was riding like an ethic deck or something, and he just got kicked off.
Yeah.
And then that was it. I was the only one left, and at that time I was team manager.
Yeah.
And I was just
Big
about
team to manage.
Yeah.
'Cause you
Well, I'd gotten like Wade France on, and there was a few riders, but it was definitely like going out.
Yeah.
But I wasn't getting paid for it. I wasn't getting paid for being on Micro, and I just turned 18.
Yeah.
And at that time, the owner of Micro, like this huge Swiss guy, was in Melbourne for like a toy convention.
Huge as in like...
Rich, like...
Yeah, I was going to say huge is not a good... like.
Yeah,
huge,
well, like extremely successful entrepreneur.
Yeah. I got what you mean, but I thought I'd clarify.
Yeah, no, of course.
It's this big fat dude. Like.
No, he wasn't. He was attractive in the good sense.
Okay, yeah.
But
sexy Swiss dude.
I remember, so I went to this toy convention to meet him, and it was basically just to talk about my future.
On Micro.
Yeah.
And the future of Micro.
Just stating I want to be paid. Yeah. Like, I'm 18 now, I've been on for...
Everyone else is starting to get money, and well, anyone else with as big as profile as what you would have been getting at the time as well.
Like at that time, I'd definitely been doing pretty well in the Australian scootering scene. I'd been releasing a lot of videos. I was definitely like getting up there. But
you can't say it too much, but we can say it. You were like top dog of that like kind of stuff.
It was a good time. But like just coming out, I did finish school and like was going into university. Because that's what I wanted to do as well as scootering.
Yeah.
But I wanted to I was like, this is my life scootering. Like, I definitely want to make money out of this. But Micro just straight up told me they're like, MX, like Micro Extreme is just a liability to us, is making no money. Like, we cannot pay you, nor do we want to, because we're just putting money into nothing at this point. They're like, we make fucking millions and millions off the 3-wheel mobility scooters. Why would we put money into this when it's doing terribly?
Yeah. Well,
fair enough.
Make millions and millions more.
And I just kind of said, well,
okay.
I think they just had seen it was dying, and they were just like, no, let's just end it.
Yeah.
But
I'll suck shit to them.
I literally had gotten an offer from Mad Gear, and I was like, well, I've got other offers. They're like, take it straight up.
Oh, okay. That's good of them.
Yeah. They were just like, you do what you need to do. Like, thank you, but like we're not gonna.
Yeah.
We're not going to pay you if you can stay on if you want to. But yeah, it was...
Paying sponsor, non-paying sponsor.
Exactly. Like
brand that's on the up and up, brand that's on the...
Yeah, it was... But it was a great time.
Yeah.
Like, Micro was awesome. And it was so cool to be part of such an OG company. Like, literally the first ever scooter wheel. You know, like, it was amazing. And to...
First ever metalcore.
Try and find a photo of it on Google. The Micro Extreme Metalcore. Try. I
you can
challenge you. We did, but in a scooter check from 2008.
I reckon if you put the word out, like especially using your following, and like if you got some like Kai and some of the other guys with big followers, you could do like a deep dive into the garages of like 30-year-old Australians.
We've tried.
People around the world and like, you know, get the word out there. Like, look at the old shitty scooter in your garage and show me the wheel on it. Like,
I mean, in the past year, I've been wheel collecting.
Yeah.
Like just getting all the original Eagles and Yaks and all this stuff. And the most coveted wheel of all is the original Micro Metalcore. It is the rarest, hard to find one. I've hit up, just to see if there's an old pair, I've hit up Terry Price, Ben J. Friant. They can't even say they even know if there's an old pair lying around for them.
Yeah.
And it'll be amazing to even
Unless
see.
they all ended up in, you know, landfill and shit. They're bound to be somewhere.
Someone's got to have one.
They just haven't come out of the garage yet.
I always think
the
like
people riding them would now be around 30 years old. You know, so that's your target demographic.
I wonder if there's just a pair sitting in a garage somewhere, or sitting at an old closed down shop in some dude's garage. It's brand new. Like, I always wondered that stuff.
It will be for sure. I mean, I remember in my lifetime seeing 2 pairs of people riding them. I remember it. I know it happened. And where did they go? They're somewhere in this world.
Actually, considering how long ago it was, the quantity being manufactured was probably quite low compared to now. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they are literally like
those wheels were a flex. They were like the sickest wheel to have. They didn't look. I don't think they were that strong or anything, but it was the
just
first
stronger than a plastic core.
Yeah. But yeah, Micro sickest brand. It was a great time. And then onto Mad Gear.
When you had to look deep inside yourself and really ask the question, are you mad enough?
Oh man, it was so exciting.
Yeah.
It was amazing because I grew up on the Mad Gear Australia team was like the biggest inspiration, or the thing that made me just think, fuck, scootering is so sick. Like coming into the sport and just seeing Ryan Williams, Adam Bolton, Billy Rainbow, Luke Pickett, Jackson Andrew Arthur, all those guys.
Dream team.
On going to America, doing the East Coast tours, just the personalities, everything. It just created such an awesome like atmosphere, brand, everything. It made scootering just fucking sick.
That was a sick time in scootering. That era, it was amazing.
Nick Air as the filmer, incredible song choices. Like, it just was awesome. And the team was so diverse. Like, it wasn't just backies at all. Billy Rainbow, like, you know, adding the tech and the creativity. Like, so that was awesome. And to then, like, be offered a spot, even if it is quite a while later, was just like such a dream come true.
Yeah. So what year is this we're talking as?
This
you know,
is 2015.
Yeah.
All
right. We're
around
getting
March.
up there. Yeah.
March of 2015.
Age? What
I
age
was
that made you?
18 turning, I was 18 turning 19 that year.
Yeah.
And this was kind of as I was phasing out of park riding. Not for maybe
I was
like...
going to ask that. Was it like, did you ever release a park video?
Yes.
The MGP? Okay.
My welcome to Mad Gear was primarily park.
Okay, yeah.
A few street clips in there.
Yeah, there's a few. Because I was definitely riding with my filmer a lot, and he was super into flat bars. Shout out Dylan Alt.
Yeah.
And he was teaching me how to do front board 270s,
Yeah.
which turned into like front hurricanes, which turned into
Yeah.
backlip 270s, back hurricanes. And then I learned all these little variations.
Dylan Art. Thank you.
Yeah,
Dylan.
for sure. That's how I remember it. Like learning these, I could always frontside lip slide, but teaching those ones enabled me to like be able to chuck like whip umbrellas out of those grinds and all this stuff. So
that's
So
I remember you coming to Brisbane and doing the front board or back lip. Like, I think it was a whip umbrella at the street.
270.
jam.
Yeah, I did 270 Buttercup.
Yeah.
Well, that was that year.
Yeah, but at that stage, you were like,
I'd made up my mind.
yeah, you were well and truly
Yeah.
streeting it, but
But
you
it was
still
literally-
were throwing like, you know, because you don't do stuff like that now. I don't see you doing like a front board.
I did one not long ago for Insta, but I can
Okay.
still do them. But it's with the scooter, with the weight of my scooters now, it's a bit challenging.
Yeah.
But when you said that, like that street jam, it was probably like a month before that I kind of would have made the decision.
Yeah.
I had released my Welcome to Mad Gear. There was some street footage in there, but it never meant I was like fully transitioning.
Yeah.
But I did the Oz Champs of Mad Gear, the 2015 Oz Champs.
Yep.
And that was, I'd been practicing for months, like actually running, actually training, putting in some effort because
Gnarly.
it was like, as a park rider in Australia, you want to make it to World Championships.
Yeah.
That's the big thing. You get to go to Barcelona, UK. And I never had made it before, but this was my year. Like, I'm going to do it.
Yep.
And I did one of the best runs of my life, but just did not make it. Like,
What'd you come?
man, in that park, the way it was judged, you had to like hit every obstacle or hit every section. And I think I like tricked over a section and didn't actually hit it. I think it was like a ledge, and that made me lose like a third of my score.
Damn.
And
That is so funny. Scooter comps in general, especially then, like, so new still, and you know, so hard to judge, and the people judging it are like, you know, maybe half the time some dude's parents or another rider who should be in the freaking comp himself, or it's such a mixed bag, and every comp's different and stuff. That's
killed me. It really killed me. I was really stoked because Vince Kinner, like a best friend, he did like so well, like killed it. He qualified like 10th or 11th, and he was off to Worlds for his first time.
Yeah.
And I'd done my best run, but I came like 21st or something like that. Kyle Barnes, sick dude, but he landed like 3-4 tricks and like qualified like 5th. And I was like so angry. I'll never forget, it like really killed me because I put my whole year into
Do you remember who was judging?
No idea. But I remember just going after the comp to the vert ramp, and I just cried my eyes out because it fucking killed me.
Damn.
It was really not like, I was just broken. But I was so stoked for Vinny, like, because he made it, but it was just like I just couldn't go with him. Like, it was really.
Were you really stoked for him?
Yeah, no, I was
like, jealous.
No, I really was. But like, I was sad that I couldn't go with him because it was like our dream, like to do it together.
Yeah, for sure.
And that was Vinny's like time to shine too. And I think shortly after that, I think he was unlucky, but that's when he was started to really kill it.
That's right. Yeah.
But yeah, it was, that kind of got me pissed as well. And then I was like, that's it. And I was thinking about my video parts, and I was kind of just like burnt out through chucking another tail whip, another bar spin, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I just started to like kind of ride a bit more with other people. And not too long after we had the Pro Series, that's when you came with Jordan to Melbourne.
Yep.
And I was riding a little bit more street, and we had the Melbourne Skate Plaza street competition, and I had so much fun in that.
Was
and
gnarly.
In that trip, I got to ride with the friendly crew, Kevin, all those dudes, like,
Yep.
and had the best time. And then after that comp, maybe like a few days later, was the Brisbane Street Jam, and I went up with you guys and stayed with Jordan.
Yep.
And that's kind of when I decided, like, that's kind of when I was like, I way prefer this lifestyle. Like, I filmed a video with Jordan through that week and had just the best time. And riding with Friendly, riding with Fam Hungry, I was just like so certain. I was like, this is what I want to do because this is so much more fun. It's a new start. Like, I can I can start from the ground up here and then really kind of do what I want to do. And then that was it. Then after that, I went to America.
The rest is history.
Yeah.
Before you go...
No, it's all good.
Just before you start getting into some of the awesome trips you've been on, was there a certain message that you sent around this time to Reese?
Yes, there was.
I wonder if we could get Reese to find it, like
I
the
could
actual
probably-
original.
I could probably find
Could
it.
you-
I think I did at one point.
You can search
Can you
keywords on
remember?
Facebook.
Can you remember much of it? Can you?
Yeah. Okay, I remember what it was in relation to.
Yeah.
I'd watched Root Industries, Reese, Regan, Nathan 2.
Yep.
And I just was in love with Reese. I just like it. That was the thing. Like when I was kind of deciding,
Like
or
most scooter riders.
yeah, I just like kind of just like, oh my God. Like I'd always liked street riding, but it wasn't until I'd seen like Logan Fuller, John Archer and Reese. I loved you guys in that video, by the way, too.
Thank you.
But there was something about Reese and just this effortless flow
Yeah.
that just like really was like, this is so fucking sick. Like,
Yeah.
how have I not been watching this for years? And I must have been really drunk one night. I mean, I was 18, like getting into drinking more. And I just sent him a love letter on Facebook. Some crazy paragraph of just my appreciation
Drawing
for
connections to what's that skater? Jamie Thomas. I remember you telling me about it, or Reese telling me about it. Like you're like Jamie Thomas in this part when that song comes on, and like it was like descriptive.
I don't even know
like,
anymore. I can't even.
Does that sound right though?
Yeah. I remember. I didn't even know if he was.
You don't have to go.
I don't know if he was even anything similar to Jamie Thomas, but I remember really being into his part Misled Youth at that time.
I
So
swear you like bring that up.
yeah.
And, like,
Oh, and there were movies as well. I was like, you seem like the type of guy that would like this movie. I remember Almost Famous was one I mentioned to him. And then we watched it in Melbourne 2 weeks ago together. It was
full circle.
But and then it was really kind of, it wasn't awkward, but I remember meeting him at that street jam. We were just talking about the Brisbane Street Jam in 2015, 16.
Oh, wow. So you hadn't met him before sending this message?
No, never. Yo, we were talking about it the other day though. At that, so that competition I broke down at, the 2015 Oz titles at Monster, it was park galore. Every park rider in Australia was there.
Yeah.
Helmets, pads, mouth guards. And about 3/4 through the way of the competition, in walk John Archer and Reese Jones. These two just like lay back, long-haired yahoos just walk into the park. It was when Reese was filming for Reese Jones in Sydney, if you look at that timeline. But they just walked in and just checked it out. And it was so like, everyone was starstruck just like watching these guys just walk in there. Cause it was like scooter royalty, just like walking in. And it was like, that's the first time I saw him in person.
Yeah.
But it was way too...
Almost all park
overwhelmed.
riders like that I've met like look at street riders like that and love them. Like even if they're totally different and crazy park riders, they look at dudes like Reese and John and are just like, you guys are the best scooter riders. Like,
It was. I remember like no one could even say a word.
Yeah.
It was like.
Did they ride?
No, because the comp was on. They were just sitting and watching. But it was even.
So did everyone start trying to do the rail?
I wouldn't put it past the riders, honestly. But
I'm gonna do a street run.
But yeah, I met Reese at that jam and it was cool. And
Yeah.
then we're good friends ever since.
Yeah,
But that was funny. You know, it's another funny story. I had another night like that where I was really drunk and I sent a message to Jaws, Aaron Homoki.
Yeah.
And I woke up with a response And it was like the same like bullshit paragraph of like, you're the best, blah, 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 blah. And it was just when I was like, 18 years old. And he responded. And then and since then, he's like followed me and we've always talked.
Wow.
And like, he's
so
been
gnarly.
a G. Like, and since then, like we still talk as like, share the same, you know, but I was like nothing back then, like just a little kid. And he was still like, took the time to read this drunk message. And like,
you got to hit him up about some FP shoes because they're the best shoes that money can buy. Yeah, I've been too scared to like order online and get the wrong size and shit. But there was like a year where I rode a pair that they sent to Syndicate. They sent like a package, and I rode the FP shoes. And because they've got like the sole technology like built into the shoes, I had like mad foot problems, but they just went away. Didn't have any problems for like a year and a half. I rode these shoes till like you could not ride them, and ever since, foot and ankle, knee problems slowly come back. But man, FP shoes, not the insoles, the actual shoes. Yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about. I gotta go. I'm just gonna go online and buy.
I've seen him
but
like
you need
promote
to
the hell out of him too, and I would
hit
trust
him
his
up
judgment
to get some, not just for you, but like for me mainly.
Yes,
not even for you. I don't even care. Like.
But I heard Enswear is pretty good, right, Juzz?
Oh, they're sick, dude.
Oh, sorry, I totally forgot you have a shoe sponsor.
No, shout out Ends Footwear.
Oh my god,
guys are sick.
Well, put FP insoles in your ends. Shoes anyway.
Do you remember?
Still get me them.
What Reese was wearing when he walked into Monster?
Yeah, I do.
Because he filmed that clip in his Sydney video at Olympic Park.
Really?
I want, you know how he did the front 5.0 whip over the marble edge to water gap?
Yeah.
50. I wonder if it was the same day.
I remember he was wearing a green.
Highly likely.
He was wearing a green t-shirt and navy-ish pants, and that's all I remember. And he had a wrist guard on. He had like a wrist because his wrist was fucked. But
whole video, one of the best videos ever released, and his fucking wrist guard.
But I remember that. I remember seeing John, and also seeing John was quite overwhelming because it's just like wow. And that was an awesome time. But and then that was the year I kind of just changed it up, and then ever since then it's just been amazing.
Man, and you've killed the game ever since. It did not take long for you to be viewed as, in my opinion, one of the best like street riders on the face of the earth, easily.
No, it's
dude.
It's been fun, and like it's just felt like I've been a kid the whole time, just filming scooter videos, and it's like
take us through some of the.
It's weird because like
and memories and experiences that come with that.
My parents have never watched me scooter in person before.
Yeah.
They've been great in that sense where they from the get go just let me be independent, go out and do my own thing, not tell me what to do essentially. And so they've just kind of always viewed me as the same, just going out filming scooter videos. So it's never changed. So, and sometimes I think that way. I'm like, I'm just the same. Like and it is just the same when you think about it. Like it's just going out, filming whatever you can, having fun. And so it's never really felt any different.
Yeah.
But over the last few years, it has, because it's just like, you're standing there and you just get this reality check. Like, goddamn, I'm just looking at this 30-stair handrail. Like, easily could die, and this is not the same as filming a fucking Brywhip Air. And it's a bit scary. Like, I've at least been feeling that in the last year, like post COVID. Like, when you, particularly kink rails, like this has been a little bit like this. The past trip I felt it a little bit with kink rails. You need to be riding them a lot, like to really like get a groove and get that confidence and understanding of how to feel them. If you have a break from kink rails, you kind of just like really lose that confidence and like that comfortability.
So there was a period, obviously, where you were riding them.
Oh, for sure.
My memory's bad. I suck at, going like remembering everyone's clips and stuff like that. But I definitely have a strong memory of you being a notorious kink rail destroyer.
You were like just that chasing was them.
Your thing for a long time.
It still is at times, but like from the big break I kind of had through COVID, at least, I've hit them every now and then, and particularly this trip, I got robbed on a couple that were like...
The one I'm thinking of where I was at.
Yeah, that one.
Did that
happen? No. I landed it.
Well, you're not going to see the gnarliest.
Yeah, it was an awesome kink, and I landed on dirt and then just fell off, and then we put a piece of wood down. They landed on the dirt, on the wood, and then slipped
Imagine if
out.
I had have told you about that piece of wood.
You did. The annoying thing is you did, and I denied you. I was like, I don't need it. And
I'm good. I'm gonna land on this side.
And if I'd have listened to you, the clip would be in the video.
Yeah. Damn.
But I nutted, and then I was just over it. It was just too much.
I nutted. What is
Out of context.
I'm gonna use that as clickbait for Instagram.
I nutted.
The big blue one in the Gold Coast, like maybe a year or more ago now, you didn't get, I don't think. Do you remember that? You and Reese were both doing it.
Oh yeah, the
were
Josh
you-
Irvine rail.
Were you like done kink rails by then?
Oh,
Or were
I
you,
was
like-
in a bit of a slope of kinks then at that point too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I got back into it.
Okay,
I got back into it that was November of 2019.
Yeah.
And then in around January, February of last year, I was filming with Mateo heaps in Barcelona, and it was every day. And then I was doing more kinks, so I was kind of back into it. And then once COVID hit, it just kind of fell out. So it literally just takes like one or two kinks to make you feel comfortable again, because you're riding for like an hour, and then you get that understanding. And after this trip, I got one that I was really hyped on, that I'm like really hoping to jump on more very quickly, so I don't lose that momentum.
Yeah. Why don't you just find a couple kinks and like go and do them, or like regularly, like every week?
Yeah, definitely.
Almost like training, like going to the gym. Like,
oh, for sure.
Just
I mean,
go
there's
and
one
do
at
the same
Frankston.
ones over and over again.
There's
make
one at
sure you
Frankston
don't
I should
lose
be
it.
riding more than I do.
Is that a park one? Or?
Yeah, it's
Okay,
an intimidating park one for sure.
Oh, the one out the back. Going out the back of Frankston. Yeah,
no, it's a cool
true.
one. That was something I was kind of sad about in this comp. We didn't get to ride Frankston because it was a street and park video.
Could have filmed that park clips there. I thought you just went there.
Nah.
No, we didn't.
Just too scared of the gangs.
We wanted to
The metros and the emos, bro.
we wanted
having a war.
to like anything we could film in the streets. Like we didn't film any like rails at parks or
Yeah. But
you
Frankston's got like that mad bowl.
Well, that would have been the reason we would have gone. I think we were just
Max
so
and that bowl, and you in that bowl. Yeah.
We needed to be a bit more vocal in what we wanted, and we should have thought about it, because
I heard Dylan was
this'll
just
probably-
a slacker, like didn't want to go anywhere.
I mean, I'll leak it just because like there's already a photo. But we went to Caloundra Skate Park and filmed some awesome stuff there.
Yeah,
And
I think that'll make up for all the parks.
But when we were there, we were like, damn, we're at like Willy's Park, one of the most like iconic Australian skate parks. We were close to Frankston, and it would have been so sick if we went to Jammo. Like had
wow,
Frankston,
Dude,
Jammo,
especially for
Cali.
everyone around the world watching that, they would have been like, "Oh, these are
the three parks
that's the
of
three
Australia.
parks of Australian
should just
pros."
put Cody on the
like-
team, bro.
Oh, dude. And he would have, or we would have just needed one session of him for sure.
Yeah,
I mean, for sure.
and you would have just won.
It's it's like every time, like a lot of riders from overseas, they come to Frankston and they're like so hyped, like because they just know this purple park. I remember.
Wait, isn't it blue?
No, it's purple. That's Riverside. Riverside's blue.
No,
bowl's
I
blue.
know Frankston. Like,
Oh yeah, the bowl's blue.
Yeah, I
it's
was
just got the
gonna
purple
say.
ledges.
Yeah.
But I remember Pro Series, Jake Sorensen came to Australia.
True, yeah.
And we took him to the Blue Mountains, and he came to Jammo and rode Penrith Skate Park. And
He
of
was
course,
just frothing, yeah.
he was just enthralled because
Yeah.
Cody rocked up as well, and he got to see Cody have like a session. So it was like the best time.
Yeah.
So I wish we got to do that, but either way, the video is going to be awesome. We got some amazing Caloundra footage, and the rest of the park footage we have is fucking. Shout out to
Sick.
Max Peters, Luke Berland, and Angus Hughes. They fucking murdered it.
Yeah, dude.
Man,
After
I can't
seeing
wait to
like these gnarly park tricks in person, it made me appreciate it a bit more.
Yeah,
Like I can't fathom.
I'm always
doing
like
that
that
shit.
too, and watching it online and stuff like that, and on Instagram and stuff doesn't like do much for me. But like over the years, like seeing a lot of ones that like really stuck out was Jesse Bays and Billy Watts. And I remember seeing Billy Watts ride a park, and it was probably on that Pro Series trip, and I had to message him after. I was like, dude, I don't even know you, you don't even know me, but like watching you, that gave me like a new level of respect for like just that kind of park riding. Like he was a machine, and probably still is.
Very unique too. Like his throw
think
triple
that was
bars
the
and shit
thing.
were just
Yeah.
fucking.
Yeah.
He'd do these throw triple bars and his feet would be off the deck, and he'd catch him like one-handed.
Yeah.
Dude did a
Damn.
buttercup to double throw bar from the quarter to bank at the shed. Like that is like insane.
Wow.
No, it's amazing. Billy's awesome, and Jesse too. And I think they're still going. Jesse's been.
Jesse's definitely more on the like street,
skate
park street stuff. Like, and I love it. Like,
he's filming with Cam a lot now.
Yeah,
because Cam, they're starting clothing brand S2.
Yeah,
which is sick.
Yeah.
And then they've been filming
lots
some
of
stuff
dope
for that.
videos already out.
Yeah,
some even featuring me.
Ooh,
yeah, on the
Not bad.
YouTube. Yeah.
Nah, shout out to Cam Lawrence. We've talked about him before, but he's in Melbourne at the moment. He's on just a game of just filming every day. It's so
He's
sick.
someone that's gonna definitely make something out of it. You
Yeah.
can just tell. Like,
His productivity is just amazing.
It was rare to see him without his camera in his hand in Melbourne.
Yeah.
Like
100%.
He fucking loves that camera.
He would marry it if he could.
He would do more than that.
Yeah.
Dude, he ordered it and he was like every day, like showing me the shipping details of where it was. He's like, it's fucking in Sydney. They've said it's damaged. And he was like having a panic attack because he's like,
my God.
But the moment he got that camera, it took him like a week and he was already filming really well. It was awesome.
Well, I, spent a lot of time with him. Like,
Yeah,
showing
of
him
course.
Yeah, he was hitting me up in
definitely,
the lead up to that camera.
Yeah.
Man,
Of course. I did give him a few pointers with settings and all
Did
that
you sell
stuff.
them to
Sold
him?
them to him for $300.
fuck.
Oh, good times.
Man, in Barcelona with him, he had like not filmed, especially not like street stuff. And somehow he just convinced me to go on a trip, like just me and him to Barcelona. And I was just in this mood at the time, like, yeah, fuck it. Yeah. Let's book it. Like, and I was just like, what? I'd been friends with him for like a couple months, and all of a sudden, just me and him were going to Barcelona together.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? And then we're like, okay, we'll film a, full street part while we're over there. And like, even my filming of him was not that good because because I got little arms. And, but having a lot of experience filming, at least trying to get him to like film me, and like every clip I'm doing it a couple times, looking at his film and like, nah, do this. And yeah, it was, then we had a long ongoing joke about head chop and him being shit at filming and me being shit at
Still
filming.
going.
and
I still see it
still
occasionally.
going, but seeing the shit, even some of the videos he's sent me that he's filmed but not yet released, his filming is like getting sick.
Yeah.
And it's so dope to see that, there's another person in Australia that's going to have a camera and be like keen, like he loves filming and loves filming good, and that's
Need more
what we
filmers.
need.
Such a
more of.
finite
Yeah.
resource in
Yeah,
the world.
for sure.
Filmers that are keen.
Yeah.
But it's awesome. And I think Melbourne is Australia is just going to start thriving soon.
Shout out to Cam.
Cam, bro. Get him on the potty.
I think it's head chopped a little bit, bro.
It's because I set it up.
You're on
Juzzy's whole head's like out of the frame. Making more work for me. Having to cut that shit out. Tell us a gnarly story.
A gnarly story. Okay. So, third trip in America, second time on the road with Logan Fuller, Mike Homan, and Brian Noyce.
Yep.
And we'd done this awesome trip. We started off in Sovereign of Street, did that event.
Oh, yeah. Did you win that?
No. That was a really fun time, though. Certainly not. No.
Kai won that, didn't he?
Kai came second.
Who won? Jake
Tedrick.
Spencer? Oh,
Tedrick.
Yeah.
And then DeMeglio won that, and best trick, the whip bar backlit whip down the big rail. I think I came like 5th or 6th or something, but it was awesome event. And following that, I went up with Logan, Mike, and Brian on the road, and we went to Albuquerque. Awesome for me because I'm a huge Breaking Bad fan.
Yeah.
One day, Logan needed to get an oil change, and the whole time I'd been like looking on the map. I'm like, yo, we're like 1 kilometer away from the house and the car wash. And then Logan was like, okay, I need to get an oil change. This is your time. You've got an hour to go and ride to these spots. So I went to the car wash, and I went to the Walter White house, and I went to the house, and
Is it all like boarded off? Like as
Yes.
a part of... Yeah.
like there's gates around the house,
Okay,
and the
yeah.
couple who lived there, I was like taking a photo from the sidewalk. They're like, you have to go across the road. You can't stand there. And while
Wait,
I'm like,
someone lives there?
yeah,
Even though
there's
it's
an
a
old
tourist
couple.
spot?
There's an old couple there.
That's weird.
And they were just sitting on the porch, and they were like, you have to take a photo. You have to go across the road. And I did, and then I hear them saying, why would anyone want to take a photo of a house? I was like, this is the house. Like, the house. I was like, as if... And as I was there, like all these cars would roll past, take a photo.
Yeah.
But I felt like such a tourist, but I was like, I have to. I'm in Albuquerque.
Did
for
you
God's
do
sake.
some ice?
Oh yeah, got straight on it, man.
Crystal blue.
Is that what this? Yeah. Is that what
Went
it is
straight to a
show?
dealer and just said, "Give me some pip," and they were quite questionable.
What's their famous brand in the? Is that what it's called? Crystal Blue.
Crystal blue?
Yeah.
Crystal blue persuasion.
Do
Yeah.
people, I wonder if people in that town now, the dealers like sell that type, like try and
Try and emulate it.
Yeah, like Pineapple
colour.
Express in.
I think they
weed and,
did.
like,
I think
yeah.
like just in America they were adding blue to it just to, just
Wow.
to.
Funny.
I don't know, but either
that
way,
couple should fucking start a business where they just take people through the house.
no shit.
And
Like
sell
that,
meth.
they would make so much money.
I don't know why not. I think they're just an old couple trying to live it out, you know.
They
But
should try and
trying to
watch
just
Breaking Bad.
make meth.
I
yeah,
wonder if they've seen it, dude.
oh for sure, for sure.
Anyway, yeah.
No, so that was sick. We did Albuquerque, filmed some awesome stuff, and we were going to go to Colorado, but it was snowing, so we went down to Texas.
Yep.
And before that, we went to the Grand Canyon, which was fucking awesome. Got some amazing times there. But yeah, we went to Texas and stayed with Rudy at his parents' place in El Paso.
Yeah. Sick.
And then just went into Austin, Texas, and we were staying with the owners of Brother Scooters, Theo and Matt Ogle.
Yeah.
Awesome dudes. And we went to Austin, the University of Texas at Austin, which has some amazing spots. And we'd been there the day before. We'd been there one day and I filmed a cool ledge clip. And then there's this big curve square rail at that campus. And I was like, I want to do that. Next morning we went there. I had about 10 minutes on it and it's a square
What
curve.
were you trying?
Just a board slide.
Yeah.
It's a square curve. So like you can imagine on a square curve, it's quite hard to
You
like
have to
take
ride
the
the
inside.
corner of it. To
Yeah.
do the inside. Yeah.
But I was game. I was trying it. And I was probably like 10 minutes in. And then the cops rocked up. And I was like, yep, we'll leave. Like, sorry. And the guy's like, nope. It's going to be more than that. You've damaged the rail.
Nice American accent, bro.
I had to get into it. I just remember, it's just so in my head of how he said it. And then just like another 2 cop cars rocked up. And then I was like pretty intimidated because it was more than like any other kick out had been. And they were like taking photos of the rail. And then Logan was just like, yeah, you're going to get a ticket, but like you should be okay. And then all of a sudden they were like, come here. I'm like, all right, you're under arrest for criminal damages and criminal mischief. Put the cuffs on. And I was just like, yep, okay, I'll go with it. Like, I did not want to, like, anger the situation at all whatsoever. Because I
Not in
was,
Australia.
yeah, so I was just like, I thought the nicer I am, the nicer this is going to go. And then they just put me in the back of the car.
Did they smack your head on the door on the way in?
I think I've watched enough movies to know, like, to know that's...
Because you're tall too,
Yeah,
so you
yeah.
could easily cop a head knock.
Yeah, I love that. They could like throw you on the ground and like kick you around, but then watch your head.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, the back of those cop cars is so uncomfortable. It's just pure plastic, like pure.
Because people spit and shit
Yeah,
and piss in there.
like probably try and suffocate themselves, but it's just like this pure plastic seat.
Yeah.
But it was such like a moment of. I never forget being in the back of that car and driving through Austin before we get to the county jail, and just like going through campus and seeing these happy students in like a group walking down the road laughing, and I'm just sitting there, hands cuffed, in the back of a police
Looking like
car,
a full-on criminal.
just thinking like, what the fuck is my life?
Yeah.
And yeah, just went to the county jail. I had no idea what the process was. I thought I was going to go down to the station and they'd write me up and give me a ticket or something like that, just so they could figure it out. I don't know. I had no idea what I was expecting. Full strip search. Like, they cut all my wristbands off. I get the mug shot.
Yeah.
And I just get put into this room, like, full of, like, 40, 50 people, men, women separated. And I was like, and everyone in there was, like, super chill except for the white guys because they were all junkies.
Oh, true.
So, like, you'd think it'd be very intimidating, but, like, the only intimidating people were these crazy white junkies who were, like, freaking out, going nuts.
Yeah.
And everyone else was so polite and nice and just asking me
Yeah.
what the hell I was doing there. And some of them were like, oh, I'm just being transferred. I've been in jail for 30 years. I'm just being transferred prison and I'm just going into another one.
So you like, how many hours ago were you riding a rail?
Oh, at that, so
Like,
maybe like...
I'm just trying to get a
Yeah,
grasp of-
maybe like, okay, so maybe like an hour, like 40 minutes after I'd been arrested, I was sitting down.
So within 1 hour, you've gone from like trying to figure out this square curved rail board slide to sitting next to a dude who's been in prison for 30 years.
Yep. And I'll never forget, you're sitting in this big, you get processed through multiple rooms, but I'll never forget being in this big white room with heaps of people sitting on these pews like a church, and all that's in front of you is this big TV with one ad playing on repeat, and it just says, if you have ever been sexually abused in the county jail, please call this number. So all you have in front of you is this message. It's just constantly going through your mind. But I was like freaking out. I had no idea what to do. Some guy's like, you got to get a lawyer if you want to get out of here quick, because from what your charge is, like, you know, a misdemeanor, like you're just going to sit in here for days because they're not going to process you that fast. So I got a lawyer. I'll never forget.
Call? A lawyer or your parents?
Logan, no, I did not want my parents to know. In fact, they didn't know the full gravity of this situation till I came back to Australia.
Till they watched this podcast.
Logan wrote down his number on the phone, and I'll never forget this. This is fucked. I call the phone, and Mike Herman picks up, and I'm like, Mike, man, I'm freaking out. Like, I don't know what to do. I need you to go to the house, get my wallet and get a lawyer, like pay the lawyer to come here and get me. He's like, bro, can you just call back? We're just having lunch right now. Like, we're sorted out soon. We're just eating, and then call us back. I'm like, dude, come on. And then I'm like, just give the phone to Logan. Give the phone to Logan or Theo. And then he gives it to like one of them. And then Theo from Brother Scooters and Matt were like, whatever you want, let's do it. And they got the lawyer. And I was out after like, 10, 11 hours or something like that. But I was just like put into my own cell for a bit and like just sitting there, own thoughts, just what the fuck is my life? And you're just like, I'm so far from home. You feel very independent when you're traveling around the world, like doing what you want.
No phone, obviously, you're just like.
And you have no idea like what you're facing. Am I actually going to get like charged for this? Like, am I actually going to get like 2 weeks in prison? Like, you have no idea what the consequences are. So I was like freaking out. And the lawyer was just like, I'll go to a judge and see what I can do. And then all of a sudden I just get told I'm out. Like, and then I got outside the jail, and Logan and stuff picked me up, and it was the best banana milkshake I've ever tasted when they brought me one.
How much did it cost?
Oh man.
Was it wild?
So the lawyer like acted for me in court because I was obviously leaving Texas. And they like, said, oh, okay, as long as he's willing to do 20 hours of community service and pay for the rail, like we'll drop all the charges. And I paid thousands in like paying for the rail, like just fines in general.
How many thousands of dollars does it take for someone to paint the rail? That's
probably like
crazy.
Cost me all up like 7,000 Australian, something like that.
Jesus.
But the rail is still there. They never like.
Is it still scratched?
It would be that dude Nathan Bird, the French rider. No. He's just a French rider. He won the Olay Trick of the Year, or like he won the Olay mashup contest. He might still be in America, but maybe like 2 months ago I got a message from him like, hey man, what happens if you get arrested in America? Because I'm at the rail you were trying and you got arrested. So like, will I be okay if I try it? And I'm like, I wouldn't risk it. And then I'm like, is it the same rail? And he's like, yeah, it's the same one. I was like, so I fucking paid for a rail and they never fucking made one? What the hell? Which I'm kind of hyped for, I guess. Like other people can try it, but it was like, what the hell did I pay for?
Just put in a request to make it circle.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, we've gone to the effort of actually redesigning the rail just to be a little bit better. Thought we'd go above.
Would you like any input on it?
So we thought it could go flat for a bit and then down.
Yeah,
down.
And we're just gonna make it curve up and down, make it nice and wavy.
Couple of redirects.
Yeah, some perfects. But yeah, it was gnarly. It was so stupid too because I had to do community service back in Australia. Because by the time I got all those things I had to do, I like hit the lawyer up. I was like, how the hell do I do community service if I'm here? And he was like, well, just do it in any non-profit and just somehow prove to us that you did it. So I just, this is another weird story, but I had to, I study film at university, and me and Max one day were riding these ledges at the beach, and there was this guy who started screaming at us like, can't ride these. I'm about to host this disability group for fishing, and like we need this area. I was like, oh, chill. And he sees we've got a big camera, and he's like, oh, I need someone to film a doco for what we do here. We teach disabled kids how to fish, and it's all not for profit.
Oh, that's gnarly.
So for uni, I did that for him.
Yeah.
And it was super fun. And then I like thought, wow, what these guys do is sick. And when I had to do my community service, I did that and taught disabled kids how to fish for like 2 weeks. So it was this nice like it forced me into doing that, but it was like a
Yeah.
great way to kind of serve my community or
Yeah,
like have to
yeah.
do that. And
That's gnarly.
yeah, that was fun. But
So
yes,
you did that in Australia.
yeah,
Yeah.
That's really random.
it is for like something I did in Texas.
I wonder
Yeah,
if like you
strange,
had have
dude.
just.
Makes no sense.
I wonder if you had have just done nothing, if it ever would have come back on you. The
Well,
fact that you didn't do
The dude
community
who
service.
like ran the organization, I was like, I'm doing this for community service. I need you to write a letter. He's like, bro, you write it, I'll sign it.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I wrote
yeah.
it out, and then he just signed it and sent it away. And then
That's the kind of reference you want.
yeah, exactly. Well, it's pretty basic. I didn't
Yeah.
lie or anything, but like I did
Juzzy
the
is
full
an
service.
immaculate human.
He is an exemplary fisherman, something like that.
That's weird with how strict those cops were, like with like, you know, charging you and how strict they were with the rail. You'd think they wouldn't let you leave the country until you've served time,
Yeah.
like community service there. That's
Sounds
really
like once
weird.
the lawyer got him out, it was
Just
good.
kind of explain the
Yeah.
scenario.
Yeah.
But it was weird because like Logan and stuff are pretty certain. They're like, you're not going to get arrested. Because it's pretty rare for someone to get arrested
Yeah,
for
like
riding.
this cop was just like
Like
on it. that
at least
day.
up until then. I mean, like a couple months ago, fucking Rudy, Maxime, Nick, Casey, Snail all got arrested at the one spot for riding the spot,
Wow.
which is pretty gnarly.
Gnarly.
What happened after you got out? Did you continue this road trip
Yeah.
with Logan and stuff?
Yeah, we went to Houston, but I was PTSD as hell, like
Yeah,
in
like
hitting anything.
Scared to hit shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can imagine if you got done for the same thing after you got out, that would have been a lot
Any
worse.
cop, like just terrifying for me.
Did
Like,
it-
Yeah.
Did it make it hard for you to go back to America?
yes, it did.
Like
it
it
did.
shows up on your record and stuff.
So I've only just now sorted it out. Like I went back to America twice after that, but it was for one of those times it was on the same visa, and then they were like, "Yo, you're not allowed to have this visa because you've been arrested. Next time you come back, get a new one."
Yep.
Next time I did, I went back, but I didn't state that I'd been arrested, and then they were nice enough to still let me in.
Okay.
But then the third time, my visa had run out, so I applied for a new one and said, "Yes, I have been arrested,"
Yeah,
and it just
yeah.
straight up denied me.
Oh, that
Yeah.
happened to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like during this competition, this is scootering, I spent like the last 7 months like working on visas, like trying to get it all
Yeah,
sorted,
yeah.
like going to the consulate, and then I went for my official interview on like the 4th day of the competition, and then just got approved for an athlete visa for America, so I
Oh,
can officially go
nice.
back
Yeah.
and go there and officially ride
Yeah.
as a sponsored rider there, which is like the
That changes things slightly, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Being on an athlete visa, and do you have to report how much money you make over there and shit?
potentially.
Like that?
I
Or-
think
okay,
I have like a
yeah.
manager who's like who
Yeah,
helps
yeah.
sort it out. But for me, it's just it means I can go back because
Yeah.
like for the last like year and a half, 2 years, like where I haven't been able to go. I haven't been since California Coalition, which is literally 2 years ago right now.
Yep.
And not being able to go back. The idea of just like knowing I can't hit American rails, can't see all the homies, can't eat New York
Yeah.
pizza has been like so shitty. So it's awesome to know I can at least go back. But
Is that like your favorite place to go if you're traveling?
it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah.
Like it's amazing in itself. I can't compare because I love fucking Stockholm and Copenhagen and all those places. But yeah, it's like you just you want what you can't have essentially, and once it's gone, you're like
sure.
fuck. Like
I gave up real quick when we were like, it might have been 2014 or 13. We were like the first unfair trip, me, Reese, Nathan, we're going to America. We started like looking at all of it, and I was like, oh, I better double check the criminal record stuff with getting into America. Found out it could be a little bit hard. So went for a meeting at the US Embassy in Sydney, got denied entry to America. Luckily, before we booked a ticket.
yeah.
And I was just like, fuck you if I'm not allowed into America. And it was for weed charges, and weed was at the time becoming like legal in America and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
And I was
yeah.
just like, this is so backwards
It is.
that I just haven't thought about it again since. And I'm like, to this day, like, as much as now I would love to go to America, it's also like I very early on in life just went, I'm never going there because they, denied me.
Yeah, of course.
Like, so you don't, I'm not going to go.
I don't think it's forever. I think it's like
been nearly 10 years.
exactly.
so
I think it
reckon
is
I'll
10
be-
years.
I reckon I will be able to go
Yeah.
soon. Yeah.
It's because when I had the interview, she was saying like, it was funny because I went there and there was all these people there applying for visas, and they have this booklet full of recommendation letters and all this crap. And I had like, all I had were my court documents of proof that I've been arrested.
Oh, and everyone else has got good references.
Yeah, and I'm like, fuck, I'm so unprepared. Like, I'd been prepared, but like, I was like, all I can say is that I've been arrested. And I talked to her, and she like looked me up and saw like, oh, you're an athlete. And she read the thing. She's like, she's just reading it. She's like, grinding a handrail? Like, you're not a criminal. Like,
Yeah.
But she explained to me, like, she herself was American, but she was like, it's so backwards because you can be a prostitute in America. Like, you can be a prostitute and go to America, but you can never have solicited prostitution. Like, and you can't go. Like, so it was like, there's like, it's weird, like the way the system works. But it's gnarly, and but like, you got to pay to play it, you know? But I'm super hyped to go back at some point because there's so many rails I'd love to do.
Yeah, well, now it's like a whole different thing. With
Go back for your
with COVID
stuff. Yeah.
Go back for your square curvy.
Oh my god.
What if you drove past? What if you just, you know?
I do not want a piece of that thing. Fuck that thing. It's a square curve too.
Yeah, but you could 50 it now.
Oh,
you
probably
know,
not.
50s.
I think it'd be good for a hanger. Like a hanger around one of those, because the back wheel would drag you through.
Yeah,
but
You know what
fuck
I'm gonna
that.
say,
I didn't want to
Jazz?
go back to Austin.
I think you know the trick I'm going to suggest.
Back
shug.
Back shug. For reference,
Fakey hanger.
every single spot we've rocked up to in the past 31 days, every single spot he's been like, back shug, back shug, back shug.
Everyone.
Every single spot. And I didn't film one back shug the entire trip.
You did.
Oh, I did.
Yeah,
did.
I saw it. I know.
Did one back
I
shug.
saw Will's photo of it.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Back shug.
Anyway,
Yeah, so that was a very crazy story. That was, but yeah, I feel like you've got to go through that kind of gnarly stuff because goddamn, to appreciate, like, I got to see the beautiful and ugly side of America at least.
yeah, for sure.
But yeah.
Modeling. What's going on there?
So yeah, like I said, COVID kind of stuffs me a bit. Like, everything was going great, you know. Last things I was doing was like, I did a show for Tom Brown in Paris, which was awesome.
Yeah.
And did some catalog stuff, and I had
And what's Tom Brown? Is that like, you know,
it's
like
a big,
Is that like,
it's pretty up there.
know?
There's a big pretty big brand from New York.
Yeah.
And that was crazy. And like, we were doing that, and then I was like walking the show, and like in the front row, it's just like the whole cast from Game of Thrones. It was like so strange.
Wow.
And that was awesome. And then maybe like at that time was pretty cool because I had a campaign that I did for Philip Plein, and that was in like all the airports that I was going through. So like, I was able to see myself on the airports and the billboards. There's a photo on my Instagram of me in front of one of them, which was cool.
That's gnarly. I think I've seen it, but like, I keep saying my memory's so
I
shit.
saw it. I only saw it myself in 2 airports, one in Germany and one in Italy. But there were kids who were sending me photos. Like, they'd seen one kid saw it on a billboard.
Your name?
No.
So okay, that's cool because they're seeing you and like recognizing you.
Yeah,
like,
well, maybe
you
they
don't
recognized
need your
it from
name
the
under
photo I'd posted, but like, it was pretty cool.
I reckon they'd be recognizing you.
Yeah, it was
maybe
cool.
They're
though.
like, this guy looks like you.
Yeah, no shit.
How did that start though?
Well, that was
the whole modeling thing altogether. Like, how does one just
so
end up in that world?
I did another trip with Logan and stuff. So after the 2018 coalition we did in Barcelona, I went to New York.
Yeah.
And which was awesome. First time in New York with Logan, Mike Bryan, Badger was with us. Yeah, it was sick. And when I was there, I went on a date from Tinder with this girl.
Yeah.
And she's like, come to this party. And it was like, yeah, sick, I'll come. My last night in Manhattan, And it turned out to be this like album launch for this DJ, like this big DJ I'd never heard of before. But at the party, there was like all these models and designers and like people who are famous, but you'd never heard of them, at least. Like, that's what I was like seeing, and all the people around me like, that's that. I had no idea. And when I was there, people kept asking me like, who you signed with? And I was like, fucking Mad Gear. Like, I was like, I don't know. What do you mean?
Fucking Mad Gear.
Fucking Mad Gear Action Sports, baby. And
MGP.
yeah, and basically like, they kind of said, oh, you should give it a go, you know, get into that world. And I remember like thinking, oh, okay, I took a couple of their phone numbers or like email. I can't actually remember, Instagram.
Yeah.
And I went back on the trip and I was talking to Brian. I was like, I don't know, man. Like, it's pretty weird. It's pretty out of my like forte. Like, I don't know if I'd want to do it. And he's like, bro, like, you never know, like, what could happen. Like, it could be, he's like, you'll remember this, having the opportunity and not doing it if you don't do it.
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck it. Like, and then I went back to Melbourne and used the contacts and got an agency in Melbourne.
Yeah.
And then that dude was like, Greg, my manager in Melbourne, he was like, no, you are not Australia. You need to go to Paris, Milan and London. He's like, that's where your look will do you well. And thanks to scootering, like, and having like all these overseas opportunities, I just went straight there. And then I would just stay in Milan and Paris and all this stuff. And that's what kicked it off. And then I just kind of like utilized my time in Europe. I was half riding, half doing that, and then just fucking went for it. And it was really, really fun. And like up until COVID, like it was going sick. And I was really excited because the last season I did was the Women's Fashion Week in Paris in February 2019. Sorry, 2020. And
Women's Fashion Week.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to say. Like, Women's Fashion Week will use a few men, but not so many.
Yep.
And the men.
Oh, that's like props to you then.
I was
that's
hyped
like
to get something because there's not too many guys in those. So I was hyped to get something in that. But I was really hyped to go June when they had the men's. And Paris has a lot of really cool shows like Rick Owens, Fetterman's, like all these ones that I would have had a chance with because they use a little long head guys.
Yep.
And COVID hit. So it was fucking done. But
good.
Yeah, COVID hit and it was done. So like up until throughout COVID, I was just kind of doing more influencing stuff where my agencies would just kind of send me brands that would like want to work with me through Instagram, which is cool. But it's not the same as like getting to go to castings and do a runway because it's such a realistic experience.
Do you think it could lead to like commercials and acting?
Yeah, it can,
stuff
for sure.
Like that. And would you go for that if it ever started leaning that way? If
I mean,
was just like, oh,
my thoughts on it is it's just an awesome experience, and like I'll kind of do whatever's in front of me. Like if it's there, fuck it.
Yeah.
But in terms of commercials and stuff, like I went to I've done a few. Like when you're in Milan, you're like, or Paris, your agency will send you like, okay, you're going to 10 castings today.
Yeah.
One will be for a catalog, one will be for a show, one will be for a magazine, blah, blah, blah. And a lot of them were for commercials. And I remember doing the last casting I did for a commercial was for like a biscuit company. And the casting for it is so funny because you're on camera and you just have to eat this biscuit. And the one I had to do, I just like eat it and just like smile and like chew with like great intensity. Just like, this is the best biscuit I've ever eaten in my life.
Could you reenact
I was
it?
going to ask you to reenact it.
I obviously...
Like, imagine you're there and we're like, boom, 10K check on the table if you pull this off. Like,
I didn't get the job, so obviously I didn't do it very well. But it was so hard because I remember having to like chew like... and then look at the camera and smile. And it was so fucking hard because like... and I couldn't do it properly, but it was like so hard. But commercials pay the most, so if you can get there, that's...
Was it a good biscuit?
Yeah, it was sick. It was like I didn't have to go to lunch because you can just keep eating it. I was intentionally fucking it up.
Well, that makes it all worth it.
I remember doing like, I was hungry as hell. This is another one. It was kind of like a Tim Tam biscuit one. And I was hungry as hell. And I'd already done one biscuit casting. So I was like, if I fuck it up, I'll keep getting to eat them. So I like fucked up 2 takes intentionally. I'm like, oh wait, so the third try, I got this one, you know? So I got to eat more biscuits, which was cool.
So just like your clips, you can't even eat a biscuit first try.
Did you ever do any tryouts where you were like, had to say a line? Like,
no.
This is Coca-Cola.
No, I didn't have
damn.
to. I mean, particularly when it's in like Italy, like...
Oh yeah, true. Yep,
that would be sick though.
You mentioned before that your manager said your look will work better.
Yeah, like I've done.
Do they have? Do you have a look? Does it have a Like is it the height? Is it the hair? Is it the?
It's like I think modeling is kind of broken up into commercial and runway, and like commercial and like high fashion and stuff. So like I was looked at as more kind of like high fashion, which is runway, and editorial, which is kind of magazine stuff.
Yeah.
And then commercial, it means like commercials and like magazines and like, you know, Bond's underwear.
Yeah.
Australia is more commercial, like where you would see more ripped guys, and more
yeah.
classic, attractive kind of people.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm very, very skinny, and like Paris and Milan love really skinny. And like, so like that's where you are more suited to go.
Yeah.
I've done stuff here before. Like I've done the fashion weeks here, and I've done some like, I've done shows here and some other stuff, but like it's nowhere near the same. And like, if you're more like classic looking, like you'll do really well here. But
so you've got like a unique look with the height and the skinniness.
Yeah. It's a weird industry though. It's like they make you compare yourself so much to other people because you have to be really thick skinned. Like I was very pretty thick skinned. Like I didn't really care too much, but like you go to castings and you're already very comparing yourself because like they'll just be like, no. Thank
Was
you
it
for coming.
like the movies and stuff? Did you ever like walk into any rooms and it's like, and people are just really like brutal to you? Was there like brutal shit? Like, oh, nah, you've got, because you're, you know, boom, get out of here. Like, don't like that nose or like.
Not as many like where they're just straight up assholes. Like,
yeah.
Remember the first time I met my agency in Milan and like you learn how to walk for a runway or like walk for the casting and you realize it's so intense. And like my agent was just straight up just like, you have a very feminine walk. You need to change that straight away. And then he's like, no, terrible. So I had to like, at night
so like just straight up.
Which is like, they're helping you. But like,
sure.
I had to like film myself in the hallways of the apartment and just like practice walking. And then I'd send it to my agent and the agent here. And like, what do I need to do? Like, and eventually you get good at it or like you get by.
Yeah.
But then you see other guys at these castings and they just walk with so much intensity and it's like holy shit, they're fucking killing it.
Yeah. What's gotten you the most like good attention? Do they come up and go like, oh, your hair's so...
It's always that. I mean, and that's kind of the thing. But it's hard because there's like, I'm in between in length because like the ideal length is kind of like here, like at the shoulders.
So you're above average.
There's like Paris where they'll have guys where it's down to like here, down to the hips.
Yeah.
And then they're kind of suited to, then there's a lot of guys who will do both women's wear and men's wear.
Yeah.
So this is kind of in between, but it still works. But yeah, it's pretty gnarly. Like I'd have friends who would like tell me like, oh, my agency won't put me up for any castings unless I lose like 6 kilos.
Yeah.
And like, that's the guys. And that's just what I heard from the guys. And like, I couldn't imagine how much the girls were like, you know, what it was doing for their self-esteem. So it was a pretty gnarly industry, but you make some awesome friends.
Awesome.
Really sick experience. I always thought like having the scooter kind of makes you unique in a sense, but at the set, I remember like I did this job.
You taking it with you?
Yeah, dude. I kind of became known because you'd go to castings and you could have like 10 in a day and you're running around Milan and Paris like, how the fuck do I get to this many in one day? And I just like, I'm just taking my scooter. Fuck it. Like, who cares? And then you'd go to the after parties. You'd be like, yo, the scooter dude. I see you at every casting with the scooter. I'm like, fuck yeah.
Yeah. Gnarly.
But I did this job in London for Men's Health where they needed like someone who could skate. And like I could skate. So like I got the job and it was like, it was sick. I got the cover for the magazine for that one too, which was awesome. But we were skateboarding at this bowl in London and skating in like fucking $2,000-$3,000 shoes. It was like fucking so weird.
Wow. Yeah.
But I was staying with Jackson Smith in London at the time.
Yep.
And he was like, bring your scooter. Because like they could fuck with it.
Just in case you get it into the mag.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I did. And I was like in between shooting, I was like riding the scooter. I was doing some inwards, like hitting the rail. Like intentionally in front of them, like so maybe they'd be like, "That's kind of sick." Yeah. But they were like straight up like, "No, skateboarding is the it thing. Like we aren't straying away from that." Yeah. I was like so bummed. I was like really hoping it would be a time to get it, but
can you talk shit about this company? Because I was going to ask you a question that your answer might be talking shit on them, but was it lame? Like.
Oh yeah,
you know, like was it completely not really how skateboarding is?
Yeah, oh totally.
Yeah.
It was cool. Like they were trying to make it like still skating.
Yeah,
like everyone they kind of booked were good at skating. Like it was just me and 2 other dudes. But like I got a hard flip, like shot by shot in like on a double page spread in the mag. But there were ones like where I had to wear like a full Stella McCartney blue suit and be skating. It was just unrealistic wear for it.
Yeah.
But like they were still awesome. Like there's this one dude who was like who got this sick 5-0 on like the pool coping. Like it was still sick, but I was there was guys who were like filming the behind the scenes and like this is not skateboarding. Like
you didn't like have to mole grab for
no
a photo or something because you know that's the one you see in like.
I said that to them on one photo. I like was holding it and they're like, can you hold it like by the trucks? I was like, yo, it's kind of looked down upon. Can I just hold it like this? And like, yeah, whatever. So they weren't so strict, but
you should have mole grabbed just for the like sake of it.
Like, I think there's like an Instagram page about it, like mole grab skateboarding, and they're like
in like advertisements.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Stuff. Yeah, that's the classic with the trucks backwards.
I was waiting for that fucking like magazine shoot to go in that. I was like, just wait for it. But luckily.
What's the last modeling question? What's like the biggest
thing I've done?
I guess like brand, like
it would be the Philip Plain stuff, like because I did a campaign for them. I did like some shows for Roberto Cavalli, Tom Brown, which was really fun.
And this is like $1,000 tops.
Yeah, like super
brands.
expensive.
Like, okay, wow.
There's one.
Do you have a collection of? Do you get free stuff when you're there?
It's kind of
like, is this jacket worth like
$400? I got this at a West End thrift store.
Okay, for like $20.
That you can sometimes take the stuff, but like not really. There's one story. This is funny. I did this job for this company called Matchless London, and I think like Arnold Schwarzenegger owns a part of stake in it because it's a leather jacket brand.
Yeah,
and I did a show for them, and they paid us fuck all, and like they gave us like no food, no water, and all the models were just like, fuck this. And after the show, we had to do this thing called a presentation where you are basically a mannequin standing in like a museum, standing on like a white box, and you just stand there for 3 hours as people come in and look at you and feel the clothes and take photos. And you have to stand for like 3 hours straight, just standing.
As still as you can?
Yeah.
Like it's
not
frowned
moving
upon if you move?
Yeah, no, you can move around when they want to look at it, but like you're standing the whole time.
Yeah.
That's just
you're
literally
like in character.
Yeah, as as literally a mannequin. It's like pointless in a way, but
it's like there's mannequins.
Yeah, dude. But they're the dude. A lot of the other dudes I was with, they were like, fuck this. Like, do you know how much we're getting paid for this? And I was like, how much? And they're like nothing. Like nothing compared to other shows.
Yeah.
And as the show finished, there was like 5 guys who just stole everything they were wearing.
Wow.
It's like, this is my payment. And then they all just walked out with the clothes they had on.
Sell that shit.
I was like, I don't know if I want to like blacklist myself from the brand, but like,
it's a good call.
I have one funny story. This is a show I didn't get, but when you're doing castings, you get like a list of castings every day from your manager, but there's so many more that are happening. Like, because maybe the brands will like want to see you, maybe other brands don't. But there's a lot of shows that I did where I just rocked up to a casting I wasn't invited to and still got the job. And that's called crashing, like crashing the casting. And I was crashing so many castings once I realized you could still get a job from it.
Yeah.
And I went to the Versace casting, and I went in the line, and I was the only guy there with long hair, and everyone else was like thin, muscly, short hair. And I was like, dude, I fucking should not be here. You wait like an hour in the line, you get to the front, you walk, they say, thank you for coming, you leave. And I walk, and then the dude is just like, okay, go upstairs. And I was like, am I in trouble? Like, am I fucking seeing the principal right now? And I like, it was a good thing. Like I walked up and I made it to like the next round of castings. And then like 10 minutes later, I was like, they put me in just underwear. And then you walk into a room where there's like 5 people. And in those 5 people is Donatella Versace, the owner of Versace.
Yeah.
Very famous person.
Yeah.
And you just walk into this room and walk in a circle in front of them in purely just underwear. And then you just walk in a circle until they say stop. They look at you, ask you. And then I talked to her for a second and she was like, what's your name? Where are you from? Okay, thanks for coming.
For some reason I thought that was a guy's name when I don't know anything about these brands and stuff.
Well, there's
so that's a lady. Yeah.
Gianni Versace is the owner, but he died, and then that's the sister, and she's run it since the 90s. But she's like super famous, and it was like, I didn't get the job in the end, but it was like I just crashed it and still got to go in
Got
there.
up to the owner.
Yeah, it was
That's
so
gnarly.
weird, but it was a very funny story just to tell my mum that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
hey, I
yeah.
met her. It was crazy.
Bit different to making it in scootering.
Yeah, but it was very
Gnarly.
very intimidating scenarios where you just have to walk in your underwear. You have to be quite like like I'm not exactly the most confident person in my body, but it was like you just have to like fake it, like just be like,
Yeah.
I'm confident, fuck
Yeah.
it, like. But yeah, very unique, different world, and like lots of cool people, like
Awesome.
for sure.
Yeah. Right.
So very fun times.
How much time we got? Oh yeah. Front hurricane or fakie hanger?
Yeah, I call them fakey hangers, but they are front hurricanes.
Yeah.
I think it's just out of habit.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, okay. Me and Kai came up with a good one. So like, front hurricane, you have just your back wheel, or back hurricane too, just your back wheel locked in, the front kind of hanging over. When there's two wheels locked in, a Eurocane.
Oh my God.
Well, it is. That's very European. To
Yeah,
do,
Eurocane, and then front hurricane, just that front wheel locked over.
Yeah.
And then I think Badger or someone was saying it's like, it's not a hurricane unless your body is facing forward and the scooter is facing backwards, which is true.
Because that's like a back hurricane.
Yeah,
You're like
exactly.
this. So front hurricane, you like.
Yeah, exactly. You
Whereas
should be
when
like
you're
that.
leaning, over.
Yeah.
Your body's.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I've called them fakey hangers because I like to look. I don't like to turn my head a lot of the time. Like I can do it, but I prefer to look that way. So like I'll just call it a fakey hanger because I'm not turning my head. It's so confusing and like no one is on the same page at all. But fuck it, it's fun. It's a very fun trick to do.
Looks cool, feels cool. Who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
But that's not the point of the topic. The point is to get in huge arguments about it for like hours and hours about.
The one that I'll fight for is over 50s. So
Oh,
alright,
here we
this
go.
is the rail. So you're approaching it backside.
Yeah.
You hop over into a 50,
Yeah.
an over 50. Is that a
Over front 50.
Is that what you think it is?
Yeah.
Wait, is the person goofy or
Oh, I
regular?
get it though because you're coming up backside.
So a lip slide is that an over backboard? That's my logic.
Yeah, okay. I get it. But you're in a front 50.
But
when
you
you
approach the rail if you did it on a quarter part.
Oh my God.
on
Yeah, but
quarter
in a
part.
lip, you're in a
Yeah, motherfucker.
backboard.
It's also
Over
backwards.
backboard.
Dude, I'm
front
gonna
lip.
disregard that you even ever said that because I just don't.
It's
Well,
a
I don't
head
even do
fuck,
over
isn't it?
50s. Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. That sucks.
But in the essence of whenever you're doing a trick, whether your toes or heels are facing the rail is what makes it back or front.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Sean Diesel agrees with my logic, but he still calls it an over front out of habit
Yeah.
because he's just learned it that way. But
Yeah.
I believe
Well,
you
it's
approach
not.
it.
It's that there's over front. It depends what you say first, because it could be a back over.
Backside over 50. It's like when
backside
people
over
talk about
50
270
or
lips.
over front 50.
If
Yeah,
you
but
say
even
like.
if you said over front 50, it doesn't make sense because a lip wouldn't be an over backboard. It just
Well,
doesn't work.
It's like 270 lips because if you say, yeah, I did 270 back lip or 270 front lip, people have to kind of think about that for a second because,
You're talking about the way you're spinning.
yeah, exactly. So most people will just kind of be like back 270 lip or front 270 lip because
Yeah.
it's easier for you to immediately know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But fuck that topic, bro. It's just, we're never going to come to a conclusion.
I think my logic is
It is. I
It's
get it.
superior.
I get it for sure.
approach it backside over 50, done.
Yeah. But then you're in a front 50, so
You're
it's,
not.
yeah, no, it's,
If you did it on a quarter part, right?
yeah.
Like you're like to do it properly, you're leaning over that side of the rail.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like it's a different grind. It feels
What
completely
what
different.
is on the cards for you at the moment?
Oh, I think I know what
What's
you're leaning towards.
What's happening?
So I have a SIG deck coming out, the V2.
But you already have a SIG deck.
Yeah, so it is the V2 SIG deck.
Yeah.
I have been testing it since about October last year.
Yeah.
And
Living up to your standards.
Well, we've been testing. I'll get into it a little bit.
Yeah.
So obviously the first one was quite heavy. It was a much heavier deck. I made it intentionally that heavy because I wanted a scooter that would never break.
your first sig deck.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that was definitely what they were known for.
Yeah.
Like, well,
I think I delivered in that
among
promise.
being your, signature. That's like if anyone claims warranty, anything like that on any other deck and asked about another deck they could suss. It's like, well, if you want to spend that same amount of money and never have any cracks, breaks, then this is the one to go for. But it is a little bit heavier.
Yeah, it's a heavy boy. So that was the thing we've been making with this one, making it considerably lighter. But when you make it lighter, it can also be weaker.
Yeah.
So like they've been fire. Like it's a bigger deck. I won't get into how big it is, how long it is yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Saving that. That's all good.
But yeah, I've just been testing prototypes and just like making sure there's a compromise between strength and a good weight.
Yeah.
And
so not too light that it's weak, but not so strong that it's as heavy as the old one.
So it's been finding that happy medium, and I think we're pretty good at the moment.
Yeah,
and I'm hoping a few months from now we shall be seeing it. But the graphics all done. Yeah, it looks awesome. That's probably the best thing about it. I'm super hyped. To me, it's it's a wall hanger deck. Like I worked a long while on creating a cool graphic, so I'm super hyped to release it. And
no word on when it's gonna hit the
well,
market?
I don't even know.
Okay, so
I actually don't know.
Still just getting it.
Yeah, like
ready
we're finalizing.
and,
Is this prototype the one? You know.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure it might be. So very soon we're going to be going into production, and you will see it this year. This year you will see it for sure. I can say that.
Oh, you promised.
100%.
You promised the people.
100% this year, definitely.
Dude, I don't know, man. Like from what I'm hearing about
China and stuff,
production times and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's like if things aren't in production already. I mean, obviously it depends on your factory and stuff.
Yeah.
But ramping up to Christmas now that there's like supply shortages of materials and
I have heard
businesses are like hoarding types of materials and stuff like that. I don't think it'll affect scootering like too crazy.
Well, don't quote me. I'm pretty sure.
Quote him. He promised. Like,
I'll stick to it because I'm pretty sure it will come out this year.
I reckon they'll make it happen.
Yeah, if anything does slow it down, it will be COVID. But yeah, I'm hyped. I've been filming for the V2 promo.
Yeah, that's what I was also going to ask.
Yeah,
when can
so
we expect a
I
video?
finished the Tranquility video, released that just before the end of last year.
Yeah.
And since then, I've been filming bit by bit for it. It's been, not too many. I'm only a handful of clips deep. I'm hoping before I leave Brisbane to film like a couple more.
Yeah.
And then hopefully a few months from now have it out. But I really
obviously time it with the deck a bit.
Yeah, exactly. I think it'll probably drop after it. I'm not so anal about getting it out right when it drops. I would rather fucking be stoked on the video than release it just because it's when the video drops.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So
for sure.
I'll see. And particularly because I'm nowhere near close to finishing it right now. Yeah. I'll definitely be taking my time and making sure it's something I'm proud of first.
Yeah, awesome.
Must be pretty hard finding all the weird spots that you want to hit.
Particularly just in Australia. But it's cool. As I said before, even having you guys in Melbourne, it kind of gave me spending a lot of time with Reese and Kai and stuff, and just kind of, especially just after watching In Our Nature, that was so inspirational for me in terms of watching how Clay rides, watching how Reese rides, how they approach things. That's been super sick. So I have a lot of inspiration and motivation for this video, at least to, obviously I do want to hit my kind of classic spots and change it up, but I would love to kind of utilize classic ledge rails and stuff and get a bit more creative and add something new to the book, at least. That's my goal. So you'll have the SIG deck hopefully soon and the video hopefully soon.
Who's filming you?
Oh, it's a mix. Hey, Dylan.
Do you have your own setup that you keep?
Yeah, I've just got the HMC 150 interlaced. The HMC 150, and Dylan has one too, and he's got an MK2 fisheye. So I've been filming with Dylan a lot, and Vinny, good friend, he's really good at filming long lens, and Cam has just gotten his HMC. So I think Cam will be a big part of helping me film this video. He's already helped film for a bit of it, so
he'll be hyped.
Yeah, it should be sick.
Well.
But I'm hoping to get to Sydney a bit this year as well. There's a lot of stuff on the Central Coast. There's a cool one of the filmers for the Nike video, Nardo. He's a super sick dude, and he's hyped to film some stuff with me in Sydney.
Wow, that's sick.
There's a couple of spots he was just I'm not giving you the pin unless I can film it. So I was like, fine.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah.
You're like,
so,
double win.
Yeah, I was like,
get the
fine.
spot and you film me.
Yeah, so
Cool.
I'm hyped. Yeah, it should be fun. And like I'd love to get back up to like the sunny coast, go far north Queensland. The sunny coast,
Yeah,
that way.
There she is.
18 hours that way. Kev and I did that together with Bales, his girlfriend, end of 2019. And we were riding, but not like filming. And there was so much we saw going that far north that I would love to fucking
go while in like the riding, filming mindset.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm keen to kind of stay on this wave for a little bit.
Well, all the boys did that kind of similar trip, didn't? Oh no, they only went about a third of where yous, as far as yous would have gone.
Do you know where they went? It was the upper north trip, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, all that footage would have been in
Rocky.
in
Did they get to Rocky?
Yeah, I think they did get to Rockhampton.
Yeah, true. Well, that was sick.
Clay would have been on his bike.
Fucking Clay.
He would have
Love
made it
Clay.
there on his bike.
Nobody knows. Actually, nobody really would know that. I heard the story only a few weeks ago that Clay rode a bike from Brisbane to Rockhampton out of nowhere.
I don't know if it was Rocky.
It was Gladstone, wasn't it?
He said Rockhampton.
Oh, he said himself.
He said
okay,
Rockhampton.
yeah, I forget because he rides everywhere.
Yeah.
He'll just go so far on the bike.
But he's been doing it on the scooter too.
Wow.
Like,
I asked him if he would come on the podcast and like talk about that stuff, and he was like, "Nah." I was like, "Okay, cool."
Yeah, that'd be
As much as I'm sure, like everyone would just love to, explore that mind.
Yeah, I'd love to hear him talk for a while.
A mind like that's for him.
That's a lot to unravel.
Yeah.
Dude, I remember one time Regan and I were driving to Jindalee,
Yeah.
and we just see Clay on the side of the road, like almost at Jindalee, and we're just like, "Where the fuck did you ride from?" And he was like, "Coops." We're like, what the fuck?
And
Coops
anyone
on his scooter.
knows, anyone who knows Brisbane, like that is a long way to.
It's a
Like you could have
fucking
got
ride.
trains, like there.
It was like the other
Trains and
day
buses
when we were in Ipswich and we just left the spot and we were going to the Chrome Rails and then we were like almost there and he's just on the fucking highway riding to the spot. Like, what the fuck?
But
Wait,
he got a
did you
lift
just like
through the
see him?
servo.
Yeah, but out of
Yeah.
context, we'd left at the same time and already he was in front of us, like on the scooter on the highway, like 15 minutes down the road. We're like, what the fuck? But in reality, he'd gotten a lift to the servo and then just rode.
But
we
it
were
wasn't
like,
as surprising as it should have been because it is Clay.
Yeah.
So gnarly. Speaking of, me and Vinny have been like super hyped on long distance rides lately. Like we've been doing that a little bit just because it's funny.
Yeah.
Like one night I missed all buses home, so I like rode from Frankston to my house, which is like 30 Ks. And I just got on the live stream, which I never really get on the live, but it was just funny and I did that.
Well, that would have been so annoying riding one-handed.
I was
that
drunk,
far.
so it was like,
Oh my god.
it kept me company.
How
and
long
was
did it
sick.
take you?
3 hours, about that.
Jesus.
But it was like,
It goes quicker when you're doing it.
yeah, when you're on the live stream and you're like so focused on that, and I was like constantly talking to people, it was like by the end of it, I'd been through like fucking 30 countries of like kids just joining.
Yeah.
And it was like, that
all
was
these
just
time zones waking up and
it was crazy. It was so sick.
like Forrest Gump.
So that got me hyped. I'm like, let's do the city to Frankston, which is like almost 60 kilometers.
Jesus.
And I like hit up the chat, like the Melbourne chat. And I was like, I want to ride from the city to Frankston. Who's down? Everyone's like, fuck up. Like, no. Like, I was like, who wants to join? Like, like laughing. And then Vinny was like, fuck yeah, I'm down. Like, Vinny's just down, like,
Yeah.
because it's funny. Like, it doesn't have to have too much purpose. Like,
Yeah.
he was just, so we did that and that was so fun. And like, it was so rewarding just because that's a trip we've done on the train. It's an hour train, you know.
How long did it take you to ride?
Oh, well, we were like not on the live stream really. And like, we were just going and Vinny was setting a pace in a way, like it was a lot faster than I would have liked to have done it, but we did it in about 4 hours.
Jesus.
So like, and the one I did from my house to Frankston, that was like Frankston in my house. I was going considerably slower because I was.
You can't go like highways and stuff.
No.
On a scooter.
We did the whole bay. So if you look at Melbourne, it's like a horseshoe. We rode like half that horseshoe just around along the water.
Yeah. And then cut into where you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, it was sick. And then we want to do now around the whole bay, which is 255 kilometers, like in total.
Jesus, dude.
But we don't think
You have to take tents and pull up. You
We-
can't do that in a day.
Well, we realized we realized like The only day you could do it is a day that they do a cycling around the bay in a day, where they like make the road completely free for bike riders to do it.
Do you reckon they'd let scooters do it?
That's the thing. Maybe. I don't know. We'd have to like apply. But the only way you could do it is as the Westgate Bridge. And that's the only one you can really ride over to get through to the city.
Yeah.
And we'd have to do that. So we have to do it on that day that bridge is open.
Yeah.
So.
Or you could do it and then just like Uber over the bridge and then get back
Is it
on the
really
scooter.
Is it really the
Yeah,
whole way?
if it's like through technicality, I think it'd be accepted. But
it's cool because like the bay, like it kind of, it's just literally this one horseshoe and then it meets here, there's these little heads. So you can see where you will end. Like you can look across the water and see where it'll end.
Yeah.
And then you have to do this hectic ride. So
Just swim.
yeah, you could. I mean, probably die, but like
Shit.
it's, yeah, no. But that's super fun. And then it's so like, I don't know. It's fun to just do that kind of stuff.
Gnarly.
Dude, 250 Ks. That's brutal.
Yeah.
That'd be. I don't even know. I can't even describe it.
Dude, Tommy
We'll
Dang,
sponsor
man.
it if you do it. If you do it, we'll figure out some way to sponsor
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Get like a drone that just
Yeah.
follows me the whole way. That'd be sick.
I'll have the drone and be in the car and follow you with the drone.
Just have like a shocking GoPro shot of just your face. Like
Oh,
GoPro.
that the whole
Oh my god.
That'd be so good.
Live
like
stream.
so wide, like just your nose and your eyes. That'd be
How
amazing.
far did we ride that night after the karaoke bar?
That was just 10Ks.
Jesus,
That was
dude.
10Ks.
Yeah, so we're out drinking in Melbourne and we're all like, we're checking the phones like, yeah, last train, soon, we should leave soon. We left to go to the station and there was no train and we're all really drunk and we're like, fuck. And then Juzzy's like, fuck it, we'll ride. And I was just like,
Keep in mind, he has the camera bag, the tripod, like 2 camera bags, a
Yeah.
tripod.
Did everyone
Yeah.
else offer to carry your camera bag
Yeah, we
I didn't,
the
I
whole
didn't
trip?
even-
Hey?
I didn't, oh wait, my camera bag on the whole trip.
Yeah.
Casey's offered to take it to the car for me.
Oh, nice.
But
That's-
other than that,
that's
I would
good.
rather just it be on my back.
Yeah, you're too scared to give it
Yeah.
to anyone else. I saw in like Insta clips and stuff, Reese had the big freaking massive tripod.
Yeah,
so
so
that looked like it got
We
shared
called
around.
that, yeah, it did. We called that tripod duty.
Tripod duty.
And everyone hated it
Yeah.
so much. And then on that drunk ride home, Reese actually broke the tripod bag, so the shoulder strap didn't work. So we had to carry it around like that for like,
The rest of the trip.
yeah. It
And
was
that happened like
brutal.
1 weekend too.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but nah,
I
that
cannot
was
wait to see this video.
Who do you think served tripod duty the most?
I think Kai, because I think Kai in the end.
Oh,
No, I don't think so though.
Well, Kai would always be so against doing anything like anything. Like
yeah.
so like we would always put it on him
Just,
because
yeah,
he would
that's what you get.
he would react the most negatively
Yeah,
to
yeah.
having to do something like
Yeah.
oh I have to carry the bag. So it's like fuck him. Like
Yeah.
you don't want to do it, so we're gonna make you do it the most.
Yeah, it's like front seat. If you care a lot about
I
the front
gotta-
seat, everyone will get it
Bro.
off.
I
that's
got to
some-
give a shout out to Kai though, because one time we're on the train from Footscray to, we're going to the spot with like the stairs and the poles at the bottom, and I realized like, fuck, like Kai was meant to get the camera bag with the batteries in it, and he didn't get it. So we get to the next station, and I was sort of joking around like, oh yeah, like Kai, get off the train and go and get the fucking camera bag with the batteries, and he was like, does everyone really want me to do this? And I was like, yep, and everyone was like, yep. So he got off, went back to the house, got it, came all the way back to the city and met up with us.
Well, otherwise you wouldn't be filming.
Well, I thought
He took it like a champ. He
I
just
had-
did it. It was
yeah.
sick.
I had the battery for the long lens in the camera because I didn't charge it because we didn't use it the previous day or something like that.
Yeah.
And we get to the spot, Will's spot, right? And
Will Scott spot.
Will's spot. And I get the GH5 out to film a fisheye clip and the battery's not there. And the rest of the dudes were just like, oh yeah, we're just going to ride around the city. You just go and get this clip at this spot because it's far out and then meet us back. And then I had to call up and be like, dude, we need that camera bag. Like, he has to come. So we waited like 45 minutes for them to get there. And then luckily Kai went back and got that bag. Otherwise that wouldn't have been happening.
Exactly. If you know Kai, or if you've ridden with Kai, if you've gotten in a car with Kai, you know that he needs to sit in the front seat. Not because he needs to, but because he has to.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the front seat is his life, and
Yeah.
he will defend it like
I
it's his
respect
honor.
that though. You know, he wants it and he fucking gets it.
He gets in the
Goes for
car immediately to claim that thing, and it is so fun depriving him of it. And we
And
did
borderline evil.
Oh, but fuck him though. It's so funny. It's so funny. Like we did
I can't wait to get him on the podcast and ask him
you
about
should
it.
that front seat, dude. Okay, we had California Coalition, and after like a day, everyone was just like, "Bro, no one gives a fuck about the front seat except him," and it was like annoying. He would like shotgun front seat, and if he didn't get it, he'd shotgun middle. And then if he didn't get that, he'd always shotgun his scooter going into the car last. So it'd be on top. He does that every day. So he can get his scooter out first.
Yeah, I know.
Show me last boots.
Yeah, every
Last
time.
boot. I'm sorry, Kai.
All right, I'm also sorry for this guy, but I'm sure he already knows this now. Yeah, no, I'm sorry about this guy, but I'm sure he already knows. Coalition California. Yeah, we were over it by like the first day, and I think we like me, Nick, Mateo, and Paul just came to a group like, let's make it our mission that he never gets the front seat the entire 2 weeks. And it was like every morning we were like, all right, Nick, you got it. Like then we'd make sure like before he got out, Nick would be like front seat, and then Kai, you just watch Kai die a little inside. And by the
Did
end,
you ever try and challenge it, like break the rules of shotgun and try and take
but
it anyway?
we would like, as a majority, always back each other up.
Like, nah, he called it.
Yeah, so he would never get it. And then eventually I think we gave it to him because you could see it was just fucking killing him. But he couldn't get it. But, you know, bless his soul.
Yeah.
If he wants something. I mean, it's like, it's a good testament to his character in scootering. Like, if he wants something, he's going to get it.
He
like,
does, yeah.
And he's going to take it. Like, but, you know, it's just the front seat. So we're going to fucking drill him for it. It's so funny.
All right, Juzz, what was your favourite prank we did on Kai this trip?
Oh, good question. So
this
we
turned into a like wrap up the episode with a roasting on.
we terrorized Kai the whole trip.
Yeah. We'll give you a chance to rebuttal all of it when Kai comes on.
Yeah,
podcast.
definitely.
Yeah.
So we there's a lot. Let's just list through them. We did the grip tape on the bottom of his deck twice.
Yeah, classic.
Twice, and then the best one. The best one
Did you
was
try and hide it in a way that he wouldn't see it
So
till he
Have
read
you not seen the video?
after?
Yeah.
So the first one, he got to the station and he realized, he's like, fuck you dudes. And then the next night we were like, all right, let's like cut it down so he can't see it immediately.
Yeah.
And we go to Ramp Fest and he like drops in, and then Dylan's filming him and he goes to do a front lip slide and he just
Was
grips.
that? I thought he was doing that on purpose as a joke.
No, that was legit.
he had no
he
idea.
didn't know when he gripped.
He just gripped,
Oh
and then
my God.
Dylan's like, needs wax, bro. He's like, bro, that definitely needs wax. That's fucked.
Is that real?
Flips his scooter up, dude. And the look on his face.
Oh, so good. Okay, next one. He's very particular about his clothes and his socks, like just neatly in a pile. So I took away every individual sock, so he never had a pair. And he was like, and we were like, that's going to fuck with him. He's going to notice immediately, but he didn't. And one morning I was like, bro, you're wearing odd socks? He's like, yeah, I don't know where my socks are, man. We're like, all right, this isn't far enough. So we got all these individual socks and started freezing
Because he
them.
didn't react. You went gnarlier.
So we froze them. We like wet a sock, put it in the freezer, and then we'd wet a pair. And it was so funny because they were just solid bricks, like weapons.
Oh,
and
dude. The freezer was packed full of socks.
If I were him, I would have freaking hit you over the head. Bro.
Oh,
the
man.
freezer, dude, was like, there was like 8 different socks, couple of pairs just in the drawer of the freezer.
We took his...
Did they shatter when you threw it on the ground?
No.
Like ice?
I thought it might,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
nah. We took his toothbrush, put it in a bottle and froze it suspended in water, like in the bottle. And then the next day he goes out and buys a new toothbrush because he thinks he's lost it. And then
The mouthwash?
The
We
mouthwash.
just added just a fuckload of salt to his mouthwash, right? Put it in the freezer because I thought it might freeze, but it didn't because it's like alcohol based or whatever.
Yeah.
And then Kai goes to get his food out of the freezer, moves his mouthwash to the side, gets his food.
He has no idea. Oh, sorry. And fuck, it was like 4 days later. He hadn't used his mouthwash for a few days. And then he just like, you just hear him, what the fuck, cunt?
Did he know it was a prank like instantly?
He'd figured that like the socks had been unraveled by that point, and the grip tape, and there was so many others. We dim-simmed his, what do you call it? Nuggeted his bags, like turned them completely inside out, put everything back in them.
He hasn't even the tool one.
Yeah, he doesn't even know about the tool bag yet. We did his tool bag, and that was so hard. There was so much. I couldn't even undo the thing. Like,
So he also had a brand new pair of proto wheels in his suitcase. I hit the bearing out, put a 5-cent piece instead of the spacer, and put the bearing back in.
Cunt spent like fucking like
Trying to put his wheel
he spent
on.
like 40 minutes at like 2 a.m. banging this bearing back in outside because they couldn't get the bearing back in. Just outside Kai's room, and you see a bang, 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 trying to get this bearing back in.
I went out and hit it on like the street pole outside.
Yep.
And then some lady across the road came outside, and I just like walked back in like, damn. But it sounded like gunshots, man.
We did. Oh, there's last couple. We switched his shampoo into the conditioner bottle and the conditioner into the shampoo bottle. And we're like, he's not even going to notice that. Fucking dish chuck in to put him into a bowl and then made this big
Tobacco, dishwashing liquid, bourbon, salt, Solo, Gatorade, all in like the shampoo and conditioner. And then it turns out it wasn't even Kai's, it was the house's.
Because I asked him, I was like, Kai, can I use a shampoo and conditioner? He's like, yeah, go for it, bro. I've just been using the one that's the house's. I'm like, you mean those 2 big bottles? He's like, yeah, they're not even mine. I was like,
Wait, is this at the B&B?
Yeah. So at the end of the, so he'd been using it, but at the end of the B&B, like me and I like just emptied them because I was like, I can't let the B&B fucking wash their hair with backy.
Wow. You're going to get an invoice like, you guys used way too much shampoo.
We put a piece of Syndicate grip tape in there as well. I don't know why. It wouldn't have done anything.
Oh man, there was a couple
the
more.
Spider. I saw the spider throwing a fake spider on him.
There was so many more, but he
You
got
guys
me
are
back.
dogs.
He left. This was funny as though, because he got me back. He super glued my shoelaces together, and I couldn't get it undone, so I had to fucking cut my laces off. And I realized that right as they'd all gone to the airport. And then he messages me. He's like, "Yo, I left my kendama at the house. Can you find it?" I find the kendama, and I was like, "Yeah, Kai. Pretty bad time for me to realize you super glued my laces, and now I have a bit of leverage here with your kendama." And he's like, "Bro, Connell told me to do it. Please, please give me back my dama."
Were you coming to the airport too?
No, I was flying out a day later, but
yeah.
I didn't let him know. I was like, I made him think I never brought his dama until I was in Brisbane, and he.
Oh, this is leaving Melbourne. Yeah, you should have super glued his dama onto the spike.
Oh,
and
no,
then handed it to him.
He loves
That's
that
too
dama.
cool. Like the idea, everything we've done is reversible.
Yeah. Like, nothing.
Yeah, I'm
that's
joking. You shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't have done any of it.
He super glued my socks to the bed frame, dude. And when I pulled the socks off, there was just cotton stuck to the bed frame. So I was like, dude. Then I like scraped off a bit of the paint on the bed frame, and I was like, no, dude.
I'm so glad my name was not on this B&B.
Oh man, I mean, everything we did to him was just like so easily reversible. Nothing that could ever,
Yeah.
We threaded his shoelaces backwards, so like the bit that you tie up comes out of the bottom, and we just like put them back through up, and like we see Kai putting his shoes on, and like the night before I was like, he's not gonna notice, like I reckon he won't notice.
They're not gonna know.
And he like puts his shoe on, tries to tighten it, takes it off, has a look, just puts it back on and tightens it. And he ended up riding Ramp Fest, the mega ramp, with like backward shoelaces.
No idea, but it was so funny watching him try to figure it out. He was like,
my God.
putting his shoes on, having a conversation. He's like, and then he was just trying to figure it out, and then he just goes with it. Like,
Oh my God.
oh yeah, and there was Siggy. We put Siggy butts underneath his soles. Never realized that either.
Still hasn't?
No, eventually.
No, he
Everything
Okay.
unraveled. I think he just doesn't know about his tool bag.
You all convinced him it was your birthday so that he shouted you KFC, Domino's.
Yeah.
And then we told him like it was never his birthday. And he was like, oh. And then he was like, nah, you're fucking with me because everyone was saying happy birthday to him the whole day. So we told him the truth, but because he has no trust with us anymore, he believed the lie. It's fucking good
Oh
on
my
Kai.
God.
Good
What a
sport.
sport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, it was
Took it
great.
all like a champ.
Too good.
Which brings us to the next segment. I think we're done.
I think that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah?
It might be it, yeah.
Yeah. Unless you can think of any. I'm sure there's so much more stuff
Oh,
along your story, but what we're going to try and do is get to 100 episodes and then bring everyone back at the same. So Will be 101.
Yeah.
Levi will be 102, 103, 104.
Let's
You're
do
going to
it.
be episode 104, and that may be a year from now. So you'll have a bunch of stuff to fill us in on.
Yeah,
That's just a
definitely.
podcast every 3 or 4 days.
Hey?
That's a podcast every 3 or 4 days.
Okay, yeah, no. Oh, no. Yeah. No, 365 days in a year.
Yeah. I just, get 100. That's 300 days.
What?
I'm not going to try and figure out the maths.
Oh, okay. No, yeah, there's only 52 weeks in a year, and we do one podcast a week. We're only going to be up to like 56 in a year's time.
Yeah.
Okay, I follow you, yeah. I don't think I'm at the level of doing this every 3 days. It's been like a month break between the last one and this one.
Well,
Yeah.
well, it's been for a good cause, and I'm super hyped for the world to see our video. And I'm so hyped to see the other videos, the American, the world team,
Yeah.
the Europe team.
Yeah,
That's
despite
gonna be
the
so
fact
sick.
that they're definitely not going to beat the Oz video, I'm sure they're still going to be pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. It's so hard. Like,
Nah, there's no...
I was pretty...
No one is going to be even close.
I don't know if we're going to win,
Oz
though,
vid.
because Regan Thompson wasn't in the video.
Yeah.
You know, we had to cut you
Us.
out because you would have just made us feel terrible
Yeah.
about our
It
riding.
would have just been like the Regan Thompson, this is scootering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is scootering without Regan.
Thanks, bro. Yeah. This
But
is
no.
Australian scootering without me.
It's been awesome, and I'm super hyped for it to come out.
Yeah, right.
So stay tuned. Stay tuned for
That's
the
been
Syndicate.
the most ongoing theme of the Syndicate podcast has been this is scootering.
Yeah.
And by the time we do the next episode, it'll be like, oh, the video's out. Oh,
Yeah.
I saw your clips in it. Who are we going to do next?
It was just a hectic
Podcast.
experience. Hey, like a month with everyone.
Is that like
like-
the gnarliest trip? Like,
For sure. Like
Because-
in terms of just,
because you're in competition mode a bit, like trying to get clips every day.
I mean, at least like at least me and Kai and Dylan, and like Will, like there was like maybe like 4 or 5 people who were there every day.
Yeah.
Like
You,
like
Dylan, Kai.
yeah, and Will,
and
I'd
Will,
say.
yeah.
Like because everyone else like had other engagements. I was doing
yeah.
uni the whole time, like
Wow.
every night. Like I had my final assignment due like last Friday, so every night I was writing for uni
Wow.
and doing all that and attending lectures and stuff like online. Like,
Yeah.
but I was still able to ride.
Yeah.
But it was just
'Cause you're a
every single
weapon.
day. But
You are a weapon.
having a whole month with the same people was like as amazing as it was hard. Like,
End up putting ciggy butts in their shoes.
yeah, I mean,
Freezing
Kai would have
their
been
socks
over it,
and-
bro. I mean, like, but it kind of brought us all closer together. Like we all kind of got so over each other, but like kind of learnt really how to deal with it.
Yeah.
And like how to talk to each other more when we are
Yeah.
frustrated.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
like at least with me and a lot of people, like we're way closer just from
Yeah.
having better understandings of each other
Yeah.
and not
Builds
just sick.
character.
Yeah, not just sick of each other. So
Yeah, for sure.
no, it was awesome. And I don't know if we're going to be doing Coalition next year or if it's going to be This Is Scootering again.
Probably depend on COVID.
Yeah, but it was awesome. Very different to Coalition in like the terms of like you had a week last time or 10 days.
Yeah.
And it's just go, go, go.
Yeah.
Like
it's weird that they did it for a whole month, to be
Yeah.
honest, compared to the usual week, because it's not much different than, the previous years where
Well-
it's just been the same thing, but in a specific spot.
Well, the
where,
fact that you had mandatory things you needed, like mega ramp,
yeah.
park,
Yeah.
street, bowl, like
Yeah.
that's what made it hard. Like,
Yeah.
like good luck in a week filming, like, because the mega ramp was a whole day, and a whole day away from street clips can it costs you a lot of street clips.
particularly in Melbourne when the weather is so unreliable and we had to make sure we had a full sunny day to do it.
Yeah.
Like we missed out on like 3-4 days probably with rain, like because it fucked us. But yeah, no, I don't know. I would not like to get so close to King of the Road, but it would be fun to do a Coalition This Is Scootering thing where there is some stupid challenges. Like not to get straight like as close to it, but it would be fun to do some like different challenges that isn't strictly like Eldor,
Yeah.
But
for sure.
who knows? I'm sure they could think of something creative, and
Yeah.
I'm down to see what happens.
We
next
could
time.
we could pilot it as an Australian only thing and just organize it ourselves. Like
Yeah.
amongst all the the whole crew, we could split off into teams of 4 and do
visit
something
the
like
most
that.
big objects in Australia: big banana, big prawn,
Oh
big
my
kangaroo.
clip on the big objects.
I've always thought
Nah, to spin the big mango.
I've always
Grind the
thought
big
a
banana.
sick challenge would be $1 a stair for rail or hopping.
Oh my god.
Now, maybe not hopping, rail. Can't do the same rail twice, one day. So, like, you go out with a rider and you're like, all right, $1 a stair. So, you go to Botanical, boom, $16, find the next handrail you can, or 8 stair. It's another $8. and it's like a cash challenge. How many stairs worth of rails can you do in a day? And you're obviously limited by time and how many.
Yeah, so it would.
find
I was about to say like, you could just do as many 2 and 4 stair rails as you can, but
how
that
you're
would
gonna
take up
find
time.
Handrails that are.
That would take up
and you can only
time.
do them
and-
once.
Yeah, exactly.
So you'd want to be looking for like every 8 stair you could find and just be like, got to be a different trick.
Oh,
Can't do
yeah,
the same trick.
yeah.
Martin Place would be sick. You got the 10 stair bomb down.
Nah, but I reckon stairs
4
makes
block.
it too easy. It would have to be like
Have to be a
rails.
rail, yeah.
If it's just stairs, it'd be too easy. You could go to
Yeah.
every single one stair and do a different trick. Oh,
Yeah.
but then you'd only have 100.
The
bucks
whole
if you did
the
it.
whole
Yeah.
thing is just jumping off gutters. Nah, that would be so sick.
Yeah, that'd be
I
cool.
like that idea.
Copyright Regan Thompson idea.
We'll put it in the syndicate. This is scootering.
Yep.
King of the road, not king of the road. Mad
Well,
cunt of the
Jaws
road.
Jaws did something similar where he did like 210 stairs in one day, where he did a 1 stair, 2 stair, 3 stair, all the way up to 21 or something like that, with
Wow.
God knows what brand it was with. But there's a video. It was like
Yeah,
200 and something
yeah.
stairs in one day,
Yeah.
and that was sick. But it looks like tiring to like
yeah.
also to know like I mean, you can know a 20, but do you know a 19, an 18, a 17, all within a driving radius?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's so far.
You just have to drive around and try and plan it out, but also just like,
Think about that. He would have only made $210 in a day, and that's him hitting fucking 20 different stair sets, like, and at least fucking 11 of those are super gnarly,
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
hectic. So
It'd be cool to do like a 1 day video part in one uni or one school of your choice as well.
Yeah.
I reckon
Yeah.
that'd be cool.
Yeah.
definitely.
Challenging.
Get like 10 riders and each of them have a filmer, and then like until the only 24 hours before, so they've got enough time to maybe go and suss it out the day before. You go, here's your filmer, this is your proximity.
Yeah.
There's this uni, you can do, this uni and anywhere within a 10-minute drive of that. So it's not, just one single spot. But, just like pin drop and go, you and this filmer have all of today. Everyone turns their videos in the next day. It'd be a cool video.
Well, it would
Tom.
be sick. Say like there's 5 teams within Australia. You all meet in Sydney. Each team gets a different location. So like you guys are in Tassie tomorrow. You guys are in Queensland. You guys are in Melbourne. You guys are in fucking NT.
Oh, and you've got to get there.
Yeah, and then each team has to
Yeah,
get there,
yeah.
and then so no team
But that
knows
would
what
be
they're going
unfair
into.
you would have to have the same kind of distance away from the meeting spot.
Yeah, I guess so. Like,
But
Or
you could
just
do
get
that
like a day
in like
intermission or something, so you can get there and it starts the
Yeah.
following day.
yeah, or you could do it in like Brisbane, where just because Brisbane, you meet in the very center of the city, and you're like, all right, Ipswich, Gold Coast, Sunny Coast, go.
Just meet at
Like-
fucking Alice Springs, right in the middle of Oz.
No, like small,
all right, Simpson Desert, you got it.
Fucking hell, bombing Uluru.
The Daintree, let's see it.
I'm sorry for anyone who's been watching this last 45 minutes.
Someone in Melbourne said an idea like filming a full video part, but just with one charge of your batteries.
Oh,
I forget who it was, but
That'd be legit.
yeah, I reckon that'd be.
Dude, that battery
Intense.
is like a new super lithium. Like, as you can see, it's been going. It's not even like half empty for this whole like couple hours of
God
filming.
damn.
And you film on film on super low res and stuff. I don't know if that would save you
I'll
battery.
give him like one,
You wouldn't even get a clip,
16 SD card, one 16 gig SD
Oh,
card.
wow. Not allowed to delete clips.
Not allowed to delete anything.
Dude.
So I would not be invited to that one.
That's the sick thing about scootering being so young. There's so many ideas that haven't been done.
Let's do some of them.
Yeah.
We're going to make a pledge to do like at least one of those things we just
Definitely.
mentioned. Yeah.
That'd be fire.
We're going to do it.
All right,
Yeah.
film like a team video, but everyone has to ride Switch.
Oh, for fuck's
And
sake.
then you mirror the clip in Premiere so it looks like they're riding normal.
Oh my god!
Because then people will be like, oh man, this is a sick video part. And then like 2 months later,
It would just look like you're riding normally, but you look terrible. Like you're just riding
Like
shit.
a famous spot is
Well-
just like backwards for some reason.
yeah, that's when people would start to pick it up. And then you'd be like, oh my God, I thought this was a good video part.
Yeah.
Then I realize it's Switch.
Yeah.
Imagine
crazy.
someone does that. Like they just mirror their clips that they want switch in their video part to make it look switch.
Make sure there's no writing in the background of any of the
Oh
clips.
my God.
Yeah.
See that switch double whip backlip I did, bro?
I got to tell you guys something. My whole scootering career, so up to this point, even Insta clips, they've all been switched, just mirrored.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? God damn.
Yeah, you guys don't even know how good I am regular.
You've been playing the long game this entire time.
Yeah.
11 years from now,
Yeah.
I'll tell them.
Yeah.
So when we ride together, you mirror my eyes as well.
No, I just ride the other way. I just ride regular to make you think I'm regular like I am.
So you've been wearing all these clothes with like backwards riding the entire time.
All right, let's just call it.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Dylan.
No worries, mate.
What a time.
I
to be
appreciate
alive.
you guys having me here.
Sorry we forgot to do the Q&A.
What was the Q&A?
Normally we do a post on Instagram.
Oh, true.
Oh, we're interviewing this person. Any questions? And then by the end of the episode, we check it and ask you. Obviously, someone hasn't watched the Syndicate podcast.
I haven't watched the whole thing. Yeah, I gave
No, it's
Levi's like a
alright.
good hour and a half.
Yeah.
And then,
Oh, don't watch Dylan's.
yeah.
Just talk shit.
Fuck the cunt. All right. Thank you.